Okay, folks, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly, castle keeper this evening, because tonight we are kicking off our annual Musers Marathon, the annual gaming marathon. This time playing, let's see here, it is Troll Lord Games' outstanding Castles and Crusades game, a old school D&D style game. Well, we are returning to an old favorite of mine. I'm an old person, so I guess it isn't. My favorites have to be old, and that would be Dark Sun, the classic setting of sorcery, swords, sand, and psionics. And we are going to be playing through a version of Dave Zeb Cook's also classic Freedom, the first module that was published for Dark Sun. And with me tonight, over the course of the weekend, we're going to have a wide variety of old faces, new faces, a bunch of different people joining us for the gaming marathon. But let me introduce you to the stars of tonight's session. Tonight's session is being subtitled Shadow of the Tyrant. And I'll go the order I've got you on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? I guess who you are, what your familiarity with Dark Sun is, and who are you playing tonight. First up, we've got George.
Hey, I'm George. I played Dark Sun when it came out originally a lot. I was in college. It was a really different version of D&D. We really enjoyed it, so I'm really excited to return to it. We played it one other time on a New Year's Eve marathon, and that was a ton of fun. So,
yes.
So I'm excited to get another chance to get back to it. So I'm playing Thania, who is a half-elf preserver. Not that anybody would know that. She is a psionicist as well, but she is a dancer, and that is how she masks her spell casting. She has beads and stuff that like kind of float around as she's dancing, and that's her spell book. And she hides her sort of somatic components in her dance.
Very nice. Next up is Leslie.
Hi, I'm Leslie. I will be playing Ela this evening. She is what is she? Oh, she's a human. That's cute. A cleric ranger here, and she is very interesting. I'm excited to get to know her. And yeah, I have zero experience with Dark Sun, so let's learn together.
Nice. Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl. I too, like George, played Dark Sun back in the 90s, but the 90s were hazy, so I don't remember much. But I'm playing Krikik, a Thrycreen druid fighter. It should be pretty fun.
Nice. Next up is Andrew.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew, and I'm playing Azul, a half-giant sun cleric. My experience with Dark Sun is precisely one episode ago on this very channel.
Nice. Next up, joining us from the most unreasonable hour is Graham.
This poor man.
Hello, I'm Graham. I am playing Galek, a elf soldier. This is my first arrival into the world of Athas.
Nice. Next up is Dave.
Hey everybody, I am playing Rakas. He's a Mull gladiator, and my experience is very similar to Andrew's, the charity event a couple weeks ago. First time in Dark Sun, and it was a compelling effort to try and stay alive.
Nice. And last but certainly not least is Jamie, playing the only character to actually gain a level last time.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm Jamie. I am playing Sakia. She's a human defiler fighter rogue. If that's a mouthful, but my experience with Dark Sun, I'd read books and some of the novels, the Prism Prentad and some of those long ago, but I've only set foot in Athos once, like Dave and Andrew. So I'm looking forward to getting back there today.
Nice. I had planned to use a fair amount of exposition to kick off the session. I am doubly glad that I'm doing it now because there will be so many people who will be benefiting from it and some who aren't just sitting through it like, we know, Madison, we fucking know. So, for those who are new to, Anna also says hello to everyone and happy Gamers Marathon. So the World of Dark Sun is, it's in a way it can be thought of as being a bit of a precursor to what Eberron was. Eberron, when it was created as part of that, contest to create something that would have everything that was in D&D, but be its own thing. Dark Sun was the first kind of time they did that. At the time, Dragonlance was, they felt was waning in sales. Of course, we know that really didn't happen, but they felt that they were concerned about the sales of Dragonlance running off, so they wanted to have something brand new for people. They also wanted to make use of a box set that was not selling terribly well called Battle System. That was a mass combat set of rules. And they just had a second edition version of the Psionics Handbook that was going to be coming out around the time of the Dark Sun setting. So they wanted to make use of all that stuff. They wanted to make sure it had everything that was in D&D, although that wasn't the first draft of Dark Sun. Apparently the first draft was wildly different. But the Dark Sun we all have, is it 1990s when it came out? I think? 1991? 91.
91, yeah.
Yeah, because that's when Freedom came out as well, too. We're playing a 31-year-old adventure tonight. So basically the adventure is...
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound... 31? No, I think it's 21.
11. You think it's 11,
There was
right?
a joke that was making
11,
rounds
like
on Twitter that said, boy, did you enjoy Dark Sun when it came out, and how are your knees doing today?
Yeah,
And
not good.
It really rang true. So the original box set is this sucker here for second edition AD&D that also came out with a follow-up. One of the things they learned, they set up this amazing and fascinating world in the box set and then proceeded to blow up the box set, or blow up the setting with the very first adventure and the very first novel that came out for it, which led to a series of sort of like rolling continuity changes as the different supplements were coming out until finally they released a revised box set a couple of years after the first one came out. But let's see what the promise of Dark Sun is on the back of the box set. We started last session with that. I think it did a good job of setting the tone. Amid the barren wastelands of Athos lie the scattered city-states, each in the grip of its own tyrannical sorcerer king. Protecting their own positions with dark magic, they demand absolute obedience. The restless mobs are placated with bread and circuses. The arenas overflow with spectators seeking release from their harsh lives. The land outside the cities belongs to no one. Savage elves race across the deserts while insectoid thri-kreen satisfy their taste for blood. Dwarves labor at projects beyond the scope of men, and feral halflings lie in ambush. Athos is a land of deadly magic and powerful psionics that offers no promise of glory or even survival. Those who do not have the cunning to face life on Athos will surely perish, leaving nothing but bones bleached white under the blistering rays of the Dark Sun. So that is the promise of the setting. The interesting thing, yet very cheery, yes. One of the things that was a neat little gimmick they had with the original Dark Sun modules too is they published them in these like 2 books that could stand up on them, and they had a player's book and a DM's book. This up until the very last adventure, this is how they published all of them until the line went defunct. And they'd have neat things like maps of tier or pictures or things like that. This one has kind of a primer because, it's assumed that some of the people playing in this first adventure are not going to be, conversant with all the different ways Dark Sun differs. There is a pretty cool short little intro, so I'm going to read that for you as well. Yes, for the gaming marathon, apparently it's just you hearing my voice, so enjoy. But let me show you some different visuals here. We talked about this a little bit before we went live. What's happened is that all of you in the last couple of months, you originally a month and a half ago found yourself in the city-state of Uruk under King Hamanu. You all had different lives there, and through a variety of different circumstances, you all found yourself enslaved and being sent down to Tyr. Let me read what's on the back of the Freedom thing actually to start with first, because I think this also does a good idea, or does a good job of setting the tone. Enter the ancient and corrupt city of Tyr, whose tyrannical sorcerer king has ruled for a millennia. As you wander the city from the wreck of the elven warrens to the sanguine splendor of the arena, you realize that the citizens of Tyr thirst less for water than they do for freedom. Now, after a century of slave labor, Sorcerer King Calix's great ziggurat nears completion. He has promised the city a grand celebration when the monument is done, complete with the most brutal arena spectacle in Tyr's long history. Rumors abound as to the nature of the spectacle. Some believe it will bring with it the long-for manumission of countless slaves. Others fear the annihilation of Tyr and her people as a sacrifice to Calix's hunger for power. As a secret few believe, it will be a day for revolution, a day for freedom. This is the view that you will have as you approach Tyr, and this is actually from the 4th edition book, but it's freaking gorgeous. Oh, let me put it in frame here. It's even more pretty when you can see it. There we go. So there is the city of Tyr, the golden tower in the foreground, and the massive multicolored ziggurat that is being, the fruits of the labors and lifeblood of countless thousands of slaves over the past few decades. For over a millennium, Tyr has stood. During the past 1,000 years, the city has labored beneath the oppressive eye of Calix, Tyrant of Tyr. Under the fearful shadow of his defiling magic, Tyr has festered from a small oasis settlement to a sprawling and corrupt metropolis. Renowned for wealth, power, and a steady, though meager, production of iron, Tyr is perhaps the most decadent city-state in a decadent land. Here, where human life counts less than a drop of water, a person can buy anything and suffer any fate. All but the poorest Tyrians own slaves, and nobles tend vast plantations by the lash. Indeed, slaves outnumber freemen 2 to 1 within the brutal city of Tyr. That tells you two things about things that are signature in the Dark Sun setting. The brutal oppression and the institution of slavery is everywhere in Dark Sun, and the scarcity of metal. The land is poor in many resources, but one of the most scarce is metal. So for Tyr to have access to that makes them a envy of every other city-state. In the last session, I'm pretty sure I said that it was Uruk that had that, but Uruk actually has obsidian mines, and that's where their riches come from. As you approach the city, you pass through verdant plantation lands where crops receive more water than the unnumbered slaves who tend them. These fortress plantations belong to the city's nobles and garner great wealth for them by providing nearly all of Tyr's food. Standing armies fiercely guard each plot of land. Once within the gates of Tyr, the throng of odd caravans, the tang of exotic food, and heady rattle of strange dialects unsettles you. Each Athasian city follows unique laws and customs. Those unfamiliar with the ways of Tyr may run afoul of its Templars, or worse, Calix himself. King Calix, Lord Calix, Tyrant of Tyr, he goes by many names. Defiant Tyrians mock their lord, when shielded psionically by psionically enhanced senses, with Calix the diminutive. For Calix's ancient body is horribly wizened, gaunt, emaciated, and puny. This dry husk of flesh, though, channels unimaginable power. Calix holds Tyr in an iron grip. His mind is said to roam the city, dealing death for the slightest offense. As in most Athasian cities, the Sorcerer King leaves day-to-day business to his Templars, his faithful. In Dark Sun, there is a different kind of divine caster called a Templar. The Templars don't draw their power from the natural elements the way that clerics do in Dark Sun. They don't draw it from the natural environments the way druids drew. Instead, they draw it directly from the well of power that is the Sorcerer King. Calyx, I've got a handout I'll show you here. Calyx Templars have a distinctive look as well, masked in black cassocks and wielding different implements that have the purple background with a yellowed sun on it. So let me show you. There's a really great illustration from, again, the 4th edition version here. Check that out. The Templars can basically wield the same types of powers and magics that the clerics can, but only their source of power is different. On the streets, the black cassocks and imperious manners of the Templars set them apart from other Tyrians. These men and women wield great power, checked only when their actions might offend Calyx, a superior Templar, or a noble. Tyrians generally avoid Templars, who on the slightest whim can imprison slaves and citizens alike. Of late, the Templars of Tyr have been preoccupied, spending their careers on Calyx's massive public works. Indeed, for the past 20 years, the Templars' lives centered on a huge stack of stone, King Calyx's ziggurat. Dominating the center of the city, the square step tower rises in sharp-edged splendor over the neighboring slums. Let me bring you over as well to the map. This, folks, is Tyr. Let me put your tokens down as well. In the event I do anything horrible to you. I'm sure that won't happen, but safe, always better than sorry. And you're very unlikely to be safe under the dark sun. Thanks, Andrew. Courtesy laugh. So you can see the ziggurat is right in the center here. And it dominates over everything else. Approaching the city, it towers over the walls, the massive walls that surround the city. And then the Golden Tower, as you approach on the caravan way, it is in the background. It is behind that. One thing that the ziggurat also looks down on is the massive gladiatorial stadium. There's also, there are some of you who may be looking for a place called Shadow Square. It is so called because it is in the shadow of the ziggurat. Right in this region here, in the Elven Market or Elven District of the Warrens. Only now, after 20 years of construction, does the ziggurat near completion. For 2 decades, lash-stripped slaves have borne massive blocks into place and mortared them together with their own blood. Now the streets and markets of Tyr ring with rumors that King Calyx has commanded his Templars to finish it before month's end. No rumors tell why dread Calyx is building the ziggurat, and dark looks dissuade those who ask. Beside the ziggurat stands a familiar sight, a gladiatorial arena. Here Calyx holds epics of blood sport, and on rare occasions comes to hear the sanguine roars of the populace. A box seat at one end of the arena allows Calyx to view the battles well removed from the filthy rabble. Most of the time, though, Calyx remains hidden deep within his golden tower. This tower lies off the arena's other side, opposite the ziggurat, rising from the center of Calyx's palace. Lush gardens crowd the tower's base, and a green paradise from which Calyx's defiler magic leeches its power. Beyond the garden lies a clutter of buildings and colonnades where only King Calyx and his 6 High Templars may walk. Few others summoned here ever emerge again. On the outer periphery of the Sorcerer King's grounds rests the Templar Quarter. Templars dwell in happy seclusion from the populace, both to signify their privilege and to safeguard their lives. Greatly feared and little loved, if Templars lived among the people, murder and riot would be commonplace. For their own protection, the Templars draw together in pampered security the best foods, goods, and services can routinely be had in the Templars' quarter, but only a foolhardy or dazzling thief would dare tread within that compound. The details of the Golden Tower and the Templar Quarter, however, come to you only through rumor, Any steps you tread in those high halls may well be your last. Rather, the sights and sounds and smells of Tyr that work upon you come from the massive gates, the bustling markets, the bawdy streets, the vermin-ridden slums, crowded merchant houses, and polished noble squares. You enter Tyr through the caravan quarter, where strange outlanders and plodding merchant caravans clod the streets. The main avenue, called the Caravan Way, winds towards Calyx Ziggurat and supports caravanseries, outfitters, beast traders, inns, merchant houses, and wine shops. The assortment of goods and services here is good, but they come at a premium price. The caravan quarter bustles both night and day and is well patrolled. Merchants pay the Templars dearly for protection. The caravan quarters butts up against the noble quarters, and here, nobles keep small, walled citadels, complete with slave quarters, gardens, guardhouses, and private apartments. Most of the nobles wisely contribute generous sums to the city coffers. Those who do receive preferential protection from the half-giant patrols of the Templars. Few nobles actually reside within the city walls, where their private armies are forbidden, preferring to pass their time on estates outside of the walls. A few townhouses lie scattered in other areas of Tyr. Some villas were constructed by rising sons of old families, while others have been relocated by Calyx himself to chastise particular noble houses. Whatever their origin, these islands of wealth provide prime targets to thieves and thugs. Tradesmen reside in the next lower niche in Tyrian culture. Tradesmen's districts spread across the various sections of the city, home to most of the Tyrian citizens. Tradesmen occupy the uncomfortable cusp between slaves and freemen. Though bound to a particular noble house and occupation, they possess minor rights to property, and protection. A street in a tradesman's district will house the practitioners of a single craft or the craftsmen of a particular noble. This is why you expect it to be relatively easy to find this dwarven stonemason, because you just need to go and look where the stonemasons are, and you should find this dwarf who you're looking for. You can hardly spend a day in Tyr without passing some time through the Warrens, the slum quarter, which gives Tyr much of its infamy. This vast, crumbling sprawl houses the impoverished, the desperate, the outcast, and the enslaved. Many residents of the Warrens work as day laborers, setting out each morning to seek work on the plantations. More desperate occupants might even sell themselves at the slave market near the dust-choked Wadi. Beg door to door. Others turn to theft or murder for hire. Those incapable of work, even illegal work, beg door to door. One way or another, these oppressed people glean enough food and water to live another day. What little extra there might be, they might own, comes from hard labor in sweatshop shanties at night. Life in the Warrens is brutal and unforgiving, even for Athos. The darkest section of the Warrens is the Elven Quarter. Treated as near-criminal outcasts by the rest of Tyr, the elves have settled their own portion of the slums, closer to the base of the ziggurat than others would find comfortable. Here they live, little bothered by Templars or nobles who consider them inconsequential vermin. Runaways, rebels, and murderers all find shelter in the narrow streets of the Elven Quarter. When the Templars stage their rare incursions into the Elven Quarter, they go heavily armed, with a squad of half-giant guards at their heels. The Elven Quarter gives the slums its true notoriety. Here, you can literally buy or sell anything, if you have the coin or charisma to do so. Elven merchants boast that they will someday sell even the bones of your grandmother on a back street of the Elven market. Indeed, they may already have. This trading acumen both sustains and justifies the Elven Quarter. The canny elves bring in exotic and sometimes priceless items from the ruins in the wilderness, items prized by Tyrian nobles. Even so, a deal struck in the Elven Quarter is anything but sure. For thieves, muggers, renegade wizards, and swindlers abound. A 50% markdown little compensates a buyer who loses his life. Now, armed with knowledge gleaned in an hour upon the Tyrian streets, you set out to explore the brutal city of Tyr. Of course, much of this knowledge came in rumor rather than fact. So, that is what Zeb Cook thought you should know going into the city of Tyr. I'm going to back us up just a scooch here, and we'll be starting with all of our heroes approaching the walls of the city of Tyr. The walls themselves are, I believe, about 30 feet tall, and they are about 50 feet thick. The gates themselves that you get through in the caravan gate, let me make sure I've got you all on the right screen. I do, okay. It would be a typical and not unheard of thing for me to have you on the wrong fucking screen as I'm talking about the map. This here is the caravan gate. This is the gate through which you will be traveling. And I don't know, so how many of you folks do you think you have passed through the gates of Tyr before? I know that Krakik, Azul, and Gala, we had talked about, or at least Azul, we talked about you living sort of in the wastes. Krakik likely easily could survive on their own in the wastes. Galek, I don't know whether you're from here or traveled through. What do you guys think? What do any of you have any previous experience with the city?
I don't think so. I think I've only been active for a short time in my life in terms of quote unquote adventuring. So I don't think I've of course heard of the city, but I've never traveled here because it's so dangerous to travel across the wastes. So I think this was my first time seeing it with my own eyes.
Okay.
I think Galek has contacts in the Elven market. I think probably I have been through here before. I don't understand it. I don't understand the walls. I don't really understand, how can you move with all these walls? So it's a strange place, but I think I may have one or two contacts in the market itself.
Okay.
I don't think Crick Kick has ever been here either.
Okay.
So this is the first time he's been here in this big city.
Okay.
I think Ela would have passed through here on her way through the way. She's definitely much more of a wanderer, but she would have had to supply up now and again in the wastelands and come back, and had different contacts and done different things through the markets and the wars and stuff like that. So I think she's been through here, but never long enough to get a feel for it or enjoy it very much. I think she definitely prefers life outside of the city.
It is very hard when you approach the gates of Tyr as well. It is not so much a gate as it is a tunnel. So you go from massive open spaces to these huge wooden doors that have iron hinges, and the combination of those two things says just how much wealth is on display just to protect this place. There's no trees that are easily accessible in the Tablelands region, and when you do pass in, once you pass by the phalanx of half-giant guards standing there, you then make your way through this darkened, cramped, stinking tunnel until you finally make your way out into this complete chaos that is the immediate unloading zone for the merchant quarter. Rakas and Sakia, I know you guys had links in Uruk. How do you think you've been here before, or is this your first time?
No, I think if I recall what we had talked about in the charity session, our little scam had got us in trouble, and we were being sold to people in Tyr. So I didn't really want to come here. Unless you want to retcon that to like another city, but I'm okay with it.
That'll make things interesting.
It could very well be the price, like the amount you're the coinage in Dark Sun. It uses ceramic. There are ceramic pieces which take the role of like copper pieces, and there also are bits where you can break them off into smaller bits for it. Because metal is so rare, they're actually paying you gold to deliver this stuff here. Unsurprisingly, dwarves, as in other settings too, seem to be quite good at working with, hard stuff of the earth. And it may be the only reason why you're coming here, Rakas, is just the prospect of a payday. You ain't getting paid until you deliver the stuff to them.
Yeah, and we're not wearing the armor of the house.
No, the merchant house
we
any
ditched that
longer?
a while back. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. Okay, good.
Okay, how does Sakia feel about coming here?
Yeah, I think similarly, she feels like this is the deep end, and where we came from, it was a lot more manageable. So she's pretty intimidated, probably never been in a city this size, quite the size, and quite the circumstance.
There's a great line from the film Gladiator, and I might be screwing it up here, but it's Jimon Hansu's character who says, "I did not know that men could build such things." And that always strikes me as, I think, what a lot of you, those of your characters who are coming in from these wild lands, coming in and seeing the Golden Tower and the Ziggurat, it's got to be just, awe-inspiring. And in the literal sense of the just, you are completely taken aback by the scale. It keeps getting bigger the closer you've been getting towards it. What about Azul?
Yeah, similar to some of the others. I mean, we talked about Azul has spent a lot of his, certainly the last number of years out in the wilderness. I kind of have this in my head that Azul doesn't do cities as a general rule. So this is also, and even for him being, towering over all of his companions here, even he is really like stunned and taken aback. That I kind of imagine as we're walking into that tunnel, he doesn't need to duck. It's still got tons of space on top of his head yet as I'm walking through, and so I'm still taking this in myself, and so also kind of fish out of water in terms of local custom and culture as well.
One of the interesting things with the half giants as well is that they have one part of their alignment, the classic D&D alignment scheme, one of them is fixed, and one of them can change based on the influence of others. It's almost like adaptive empathy, where they decide to start acting more like the people around them. I can't remember which one is Azul's fixed.
Shoot, we decided on this, didn't we?
By we, I mean you. So
right? Yeah. I think we said that good was the fixed.
Okay.
So that I can play with all the variants of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly forget what I had said he was before. But seeing this, I think whatever he was, maybe actually after the revolution, he was probably pretty chaotic for a while. Mm-hmm. Seeing this, he's fixing back on lawful, because this place, seeing these walls, seeing the accomplishments, it damn near requires it. He needs to hold on to some...
he's being red-pilled by Tyrian fascists. Fascism does this shit? Wow. Where do I sign up?
Holding in the face of such awe-inspiring things, he's just trying to hold on to something that makes sense to him.
Yeah.
And so I think he's reverting to a more lawful alignment for now.
So one of the things that you, as I said, you've been hired to do is to deliver some things. One of the things that's been happening in the town of Cled, that dwarven settlement that we were at before, is that they've been uncovering ancient dwarven ruins. And one of the things that is another part of sort of the Dark Sun setting, at least the way it was originally, is that there's no sense of history. There's a sense of today, and there's a sense of what am I going to need to do for tomorrow. There isn't really a lot of time that's spent dwelling on the past, because really the only things that are eternal are the sun, the sands, and the sorcerer kings. Everything else is mutable. Everything else can be forgotten. A noble house that could seemingly dominate a city can be gone in a generation and never spoken of again. Settlements can rise and fall, be swallowed by the sands, and never thought of again. Ruins can appear after a sandstorm, and no one knows where they, who built them, who lived there, and what led to their downfall. As such, there's always sort of a constant, the one sense of constancy that you've got is the sorcerer kings in the city-states. But the uncovering of ruins at Cled is something quite fascinating, because it is the possibility of learning something that isn't being fed by the sorcerer kings, isn't being dictated by the public works, and propaganda and whatnot that they have put forward. no, bless you. The non-humans who live in the waste, like the Tyrant, the elves and whatnot, who gives a shit about history? Like, you don't have the luxury of indulging in that stuff. So really, this is one of those things that is really going to be... is really quite something. So what they've asked you to transport is basically, if you can picture like small, like almost like you know, like cuneiform tablets, little clay tablets, imagine, but made out of stone, and several, you know, bricks of them all stacked together. The dwarf who gave you this like tough leather bag of tablets to bring to this guy, I don't think he, you know, there may be something more going on here. If it's just a stone worker who is going to be delivering this stuff, but they have promised you several hundred gold pieces, like a fortune, for delivering this stuff safely, if you were able to get it there. So it's hard not to go forward to that. George, did we lose you in roll 20?
Yeah, it looks like it dropped him.
Yeah, only in resume. The other
gotcha.
Zoom stayed on, but roll 20
Okay. Got you
gave
back.
me an error. Yeah.
So this is going to be basically like a backpack full of bricks is what you're transporting. Who is going to be transporting those things? You'll be traveling basically across the dunes until you get to Tyr. And let's see here. Does anyone have any secondary skill that deals with like? Well, I guess first off, who's a rogue here? What's levels in rogue?
Sakia is.
So Sakia, you would know then that there is likely going to be a inspection for something. So whether this stuff counts as contraband or not is another question, but you may want someone who can secure this stuff or at least not draw attention to themselves. So who would like to be carrying it, or what steps do you want to take? You can spread it amongst you guys. You could try and hide it on someone. You could use some of your magical or psionic abilities to hide stuff. What are you guys thinking?
I mean, I kind of assumed Azul would have offered to carry the lion's share of it. I think he kind of just assumes that role of like, okay, I'll be the pack mule. But I don't. He may not be the most subtle of our group. So happy to take a fair share of it, but
Yeah, I mean, I have an idea, but someone's going to have to help out. Like, Kikrik could do chitin working, so he could have all those tools and stuff. And I feel like we split everything up, you know, and so they just see it as like junk we're carrying as opposed to like some sort of set of something. So, you know, I could hide them among the tools and stuff I use for forming and creating Titan.
Okay.
Like, oh, I need the brick for heat or something. You know what I mean? And we spread them around.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I suggest. Or he clicks it out, though. I don't know how do Thrykeens communicate with you guys? Question.
How do Thrykeens which?
Do they speak common, or do they just
They
click
speak,
it out? Okay.
and Thrykreen, people can speak it. It's quite challenging to do when you don't have mandibles and you've got a mouth instead.
Yeah, so it's probably like a click. He accentuates his speech with clicks that make sense to him, but not to you all. You know.
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna agree with Cricket, and I'm gonna amend what I said about Thania's exposure to Tyr, because I just noticed that I have Tyr tongue as a language. So I think I was born here but escaped, and I do not want to come back here, but I have to.
Okay.
And I tell him like I agree. We're all gonna die here. So for some of you to survive, we should split up all of this stuff, so at least some of it will get to where it needs to go.
You might think that is a overly paranoid attitude, but half elves in Dark Sun have an extraordinarily tough time of things. The elves, they do not have the same physical capabilities that elves do to be able to just run across the desert, running 50 miles in a day. And likewise, because of the attitude that a lot of human settlements have towards elves, having elven heritage sort of casts you as a criminal in the eyes of many, or at the very least untrustworthy. So they are.
And then add to it that I'm a magic user.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And she plays the spoons. Like, it's just every
And the
irritating and.
spoons.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of that? That sound like a plan?
Yeah, I think it's a good plan. I think
Yeah.
don't give the tablets to the elf, to me, to Gaelic. I think it's probably but I think but Gaelic is a appraiser and barterer, and I think what I may have done is prepared a story about how incredibly dull these tablets really are, just in case that these are extremely tedious business documents that frankly are just sort of ledgers that are really not very interesting at all. And I'll have some patter ready for if there's any trouble, I might sort of step in.
Okay, perfect. So that would be a great example. We talked before we went live about how, like, when your level can apply to something or not. Even if you're not trained in, something to do with charisma, that would be a great example of where I would let you add your level to a charisma check if I required you to make a charisma check. I'm telling him. Jeez.
You tried telling me
agree.
all that stuff, and almost put me to sleep, that story.
So what you guys can see as you approach, for those of you who have been here before, it is, as I said, like massive gates. And in spite of that, there is still a backlog. There is a backlog of caravans coming in and being processed. That seems to go the entire length of the tunnel leading in through the city. You slow your pace. I'm trying to think if there's no one who's a dwarf here, so you don't have to move at dwarf pace. I think the slowest among you moves 30. So you Kick is much faster, Gaelic is much faster, and Azul is much faster. You can see that there is it looks like the guards and the Templars. You see several of the black cassocked Templars guarding the gate as well and going through. The Templars, in addition to being sort of the clergy, as it were, of the Sorcerer Kings, they're also the bureaucracy. So, there can be vicious, warrior Templars who have badass spells and weapons and stuff like that, but it's also the guy who, does zoning. And there's the guy who, there are petty, bureaucrats in Tyr as much as there is in any metropolis. And these are some of them. I think with Thania and Gaelec's experience with trade and Sakia's experience as a rogue, you know that among the most venal and corrupt of the Templars in Tyr are the motherfuckers working the door to let you in. Minimum 30% markup of what is supposed to be the entry fee here. Now, you guys have managed to get yourself a bunch of gear, and you have managed to get yourself a pretty sweet payday once you get to Tyr. You are not flushed in. Good question. There is a second gate, but that would be the one leading into the slave district. And one of the things that I think you heard before, they're throwing tons and tons and tons of slaves at the ziggurat, basically, to get the thing done. So what you can see, I think, who has the highest wisdom here? It might be Azul.
Maybe. Wisdom 15, CD 9.
Okay. 17 for Thania. So Thania, I think because you've also got the self-preservation element. 127! Holy shit, Thania. Good lord.
Yeah, I didn't want to show off.
You seem really good.
We got Dr. Thania here.
And perhaps this is just the self-preservation stuff. You can see from where you are, there's a small group of almost like a impromptu souk that's been set up outside of the city, where there are far more black cassocked Templars and half-giant guards and mule soldiers as well. Who are going through and interviewing a bunch of people and grabbing people, but you can also see that there are a shit ton of people who are ending up in cages. They have basically rolled out massive, with big bones and whatnot worked together and the chitin from larger insects work together and lashed with giant's hair thread. Where there are tons of travelers. You can tell from the traveling robes and whatnot and traveling leathers that they had on, they're throwing people into these wagons and dragging them off. There are a good percentage that are getting through, in particular those who bear the colors of one of the merchant houses that trade up and across the tablelands. But it does seem like they seem to be looking for fairly easy excuses to throw people into the cages, and no doubt a destination in construction, shall we say. So, having seen this, what do you guys have in mind?
I do let Gaelic know if he's going to be our face. Because I see all the merchant, the merchant colors and stuff around. I let him know about Lerm Sandai, the merchant contact that we have. So if we need that.
That contact is he is someone who hires out to an agent of it. If you contact them within the city, that will be a possibility for you getting some work from it. But this is like a contractor to a contractor to a contractor to this stuff.
Okay, so he's not quite a merchant.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Well, you can see around each of the merchant caravans, there are all the guards festooned in the colors and the armor and weaponry of them. The one that actually you can see the same merchant house that you were hoping to contact, which was, where is it here? Not Elven. Major ones. Here we go. It's not Wavir, it's Vordon. I'm having to look up in Dune Trader instead of my stupid handwriting. The thing that sets them apart from all the others, all of their mercenaries wield they wield steel weapons. So a huge amount of money on display, keeping their things safe. But you can also pick out the, I think it's Wavir that comes from Uruk. All of their soldiers have obsidian weapons, and being this close to the city, they are doubly on watch for people getting too close to their caravans. You can see that there is a couple of people who are like groups of smaller travelers like yourselves that seem to be trying to, negotiate their way through. But even the major houses, they still are having trouble getting themselves through in a timely fashion.
Does there seem to be one person who's sort of the leader of each interrogation unit, for lack of a better term?
Yep.
Or is it like?
Yep. That'll
okay,
be I think you can probably tell there's minor variations in the insignia, the purple and yellow star, purple background, yellow star insignia of the Templars. Being that you're from Tyr, you can make the distinction to determine which one is the one in charge. Although with the personality types that fall into the Templars, it's usually the one who's doing the least work and speaking the loudest.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I have let the party know that I am a preserver. I'm not trying to keep it secret from my own companions. So I'm going to mention I know.
Yeah.
So I had to trust them to get me from across the desert. And they did. So I feel like they've earned my trust. So I want to mention to Gaelic that if anything goes wrong in your negotiations, I have a backup plan. But
No,
it only
George.
affects one person. Yeah.
You don't have to bring Thera's Dune into every game you play.
I think you're wrong about that, Andrew, but
So you can easily there's one group that seems, or one group of Templar mule guards and half giant soldiers, or mule soldiers and half giant guards, who are keeping an eye out for the or rather managing the smaller groups of travelers. That's likely who's going to handle you. Did you have something in mind there, George, for what to do with that person?
yeah, and I don't know if you can hear me or see me because my roll 20.
Oh, I lost your. Let me hit reconnect again. Roll the dice, and
I may have to be the one who hits reconnect.
Boom! Everyone's back.
I see you again.
Okay.
I lost everybody except for you. I'm gonna try it one more
Sands
time.
of Athos.
You might amaze me. So
There he is.
I have everybody. Okay, great. Yes, I have a charm person spell prepared. So if necessary, I will.
let's talk about two
I
quick
have
things.
other charm things. Yeah.
For those who are unfamiliar with Dark Sun, there are two things that you're going to want to know about the spellcasters. Arcane magic in Athos actually is woven from life. It draws in life from other living things, usually plant matter and whatnot, but it's said that the defiling magics of the Dragon of Tyr actually is fueled by the lives of the thousands of slaves donated to him on a annual or 10-decade long or however long basis. The way you can do that is slow and careful and then working your magics the way preservers do, or you can be efficient the way defilers do it, rip the life out of stuff, leaving lifeless ash as a circle around them when they cast it. The state of Dark Sun with the ecological collapse is said to be due to the misuse of arcane magics in wars that have been completely forgotten from thousands, if not tens of thousands of years ago. The mages are, generally speaking, illegal. The preservers, if they are not part of the service of the Templars, as sort of like a multi-class thing, then they are often just killed or interrogated to find out their connection to the Veil of the Lions and then killed. One of the ways that they get around it is that all casters in Dark Sun learn to hide the telltale somatic components of that through something called somatic concealment. The way I'm using that in this is basically you just make a dexterity test against the difficulty of the spell level you're casting. So, if that does not help Psychia, she still leaves a circle of ash around her, but if you are careful with how and when you make use of your magic, you can just hide it. So,
I was wondering, and I'm happy to keep it dexterity, but because I'm a skilled actor and dancer, if I could hide my somatic components within a dance, if I do it, not every time, obviously, but in it, if I, for example, if I walked up to a person and said, let me show you what I can do, basically, and I, performed a dance for them, could I potentially hide my somatic components within the dance itself?
Yeah, it would still be a test. What are you thinking charisma instead of?
Exactly.
Yep.
So I have performing arts as a advantage, or
as a secondary skill thing, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I buy that. Sure.
I just thought, character-wise, it might make a sense why I've become a dancer. Is to for a couple of reasons, but this being maybe one of them.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. So, for example, if we were to get stopped here and it looked like it was going south, I would say, no, we are travelers and we're here to perform. Let me just give you a sample of what we can do. And then I did a little bit of thing and cast a charm person while I was doing it.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
I might be able to augment. I can do. I have the spell Sound Burst. Is that literally just a single
it is a
sound?
damaging effect.
Oh, it's a damaging. Okay, never mind. I thought I could augment the ruse here by
in a way you can,
but it's not really. Well, I don't think you want to have a half giant start dancing around.
I am more thinking that you don't want to start killing people in the way in.
Well, no,
definitely would serve as a distraction.
No, that spell is off the table.
As Zul disappears under a wave of mule soldiers screaming out, "I'm helping!"
But that was just a question, just for my edification, not necessarily.
Yep, absolutely.
What's happening right now.
The rest of the weekend is trying to get Azul out of prison before he's killed.
Oh no!
So here's
it is called freedom.
What I'd like you all to do is, let's get some dice rolling here. And for those listening at home, we're playing with the optional rules for hero points, and we're also playing with the optional rules for luck. Because they will need both for this. We have rolled luck before we started our session, so everyone's got their pool of narrative meta currency to make use of.
I did not roll my luck. I'll do that right now.
You know what, George? I can tell you what's going to happen. Everyone rolled a 1, so just...
Oh, okay, perfect.
You can roll yours. I'm curious if you roll a 1.
I believed you.
I rolled a 6.
Rollcast rolled a 6.
Nice.
Yeah. There
it is. Roll 20 overheard.
You were right. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think didn't
That's okay,
yeah,
I got
Rakas
three,
got
I
a
got three.
6. Yeah, everyone else got a 1. Oh my gosh. All right, so then
Thanks for all 20.
what I'd like you all to do, please, is if you could give us a
I'm
wisdom.
stupid. I never actually.
You didn't roll your luck?
I didn't roll my luck.
Uh-oh.
Look at that.
Here we go. So give us a D6 plus, I think, 4 for you. Because you are big.
D6 plus 4. Yep.
Okay.
Ah,
That.
right in
And
the middle of the pack.
as
Sorry
a
to
reminder, you
disappoint.
can spend
That's
luck
good.
for each other after the effect, too. So you can, and also on your adversaries. Although, like, why would you want to take away that fun from me? Come on, guys. Jeez. So what I'd like you to do is, if everyone could give us a wisdom check, and remember the way you're doing it is take a look at whatever your CB, your challenge base is for your wisdom. You're going to add a 4 to that, and then you're going to roll 1d20 plus your level, and tell us who beats that number. Yeah, sorry. Okay, like. Oh, not his strong suit. There's a reason he ended up in slavery.
What are we rolling?
It is a
D20.
wisdom check against it's D20 plus your level against a target number equal to your CB for wisdom plus 4. All right. So thumbs up. Who got successes in this? Okay, Thania. Okay, like I didn't need to ask. So only Thania. That was a pretty good roll for Gaelic too. So Thania, what
Wisdom
you
is
can
9
detect?
plus-
Maybe
Azul, you didn't make
I
it?
didn't make it.
No, it's against the
17?
CD, right?
well, CB is 9 plus 4 is
Plus
13.
4.
Yeah, so I needed to get a 13 or lower.
Yeah.
No, higher.
Oh,
Everything's high in
sorry,
this
sorry.
game.
Yep, sorry. Okay, then I succeeded. Never mind.
Andrew, I do appreciate the efforts to roleplay up his int 8.
Yeah, it's in 8. Yeah. No, sorry.
It
Sorry,
is. You've already been
not-
on the train how many times this week? So it's Friday night later
true.
for you. It is
It's
completely
true.
understandable.
And me now. Now I'm the opposite
Yeah.
side of the country.
I mean, we're,
Andrew and I feel you,
George,
Andrew.
stop. You and I don't get to complain about the hour.
Rakas made it as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we
I may
got.
not look wise, but I can be wise.
So Rakas got a success, Thania got a success, and Azul. What you guys notice is as you are making your way to towards the crush of the where the other groups of non-merchant house travelers are located, including one group of elves. You notice that there is a half-elf who is lurking fairly close behind you guys and seems to have a pretty close eye on what is on you. They are, Rakas, you might see this as like an opponent sizing someone up. Thania and Azul, I think you may more see it as someone looking for an easy mark. There's a lot of people around here. It'd be very easy to have something go missing.
I might, if it's okay, try to get Cricket's attention.
Okay.
We've traveled together, we have this bond, and just try to get their attention and kind of do that nod of like,
Okay.
drawing to them as well.
How did you do, Cricket?
I think I
Oh,
need
you have
a
11. Yeah.
Yeah, I need a 13.
Okay. Oh, so you're not. Yeah, you were far off. I think with it pointed out, he sees that as well. Let me make a quick roll for our half-elf friend. He does not seem to have noticed that you have noticed. This half-elf is actually fairly big. You would not know he was a half-elf if not for sort of the leaner features in his the upper parts of his head and the slender kind of point to his ears. But he's quite stocky. He might pass off as a human if he wore something to conceal his ears. He's dressed like to be honest, dressed like a raider. He has leather armor on that looks like it's been well seasoned in the sun and sand. He has a pair of daggers that are strapped to the side, and he carries a long sword over his back.
I might try to flex a little bit and just try to look a little bit, well, not a little bit more intimidating, but definitely use a show of physicality.
Okay. Well, again, he does not seem to have noticed that you notice. Are you saying you're going to draw attention to yourself?
Oh, I thought you only meant that in terms of Cricket. So he hasn't noticed that I noticed either.
Hasn't noticed any of you guys. He seems to be fixated on something. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I won't do that.
Okay. So you've let Cricket know. Cricket, you can see this as well. Thania or Rakas, anything you guys wish to do?
I'm going to keep an eye on him. I have a psychic ability to cause sleep if I need to. So that I'm going to get my mind ready to do that if necessary.
Okay. As you reach the point where you'd be starting to, get in line or queue, as it were, to go through with the Templars, Everett sort of gets a little more crunched in. So he walks up behind, and who do you, among our heroes here, who do you think is traveling at the rear? And you can feel free to have shifted that for those of you who noticed that he's kind of bird dogging you from behind.
I would have moved into the middle.
I'd probably be near the rear.
Okay.
I'm not one who's going to want to speak first, and I can rush up to the front if I have to.
Okay.
I think maybe Rakas is trying not to overtly hide that he knows.
Okay.
And he's just going to casually glance at the guy.
Okay. So you're glancing at him, and he notices that you have, turned around. As with Azul, you're not quite as what's the opposite of inconspicuous? I guess conspicuous. You're not as conspicuous as what Azul is, but you're certainly a contender for that, being the muscled mule gladiator. He meets eyes with you, and then immediately tries to put a kind of friendly face on things. Well, hi. And steps forward. Whew. What a line, eh? What a line.
Thania.
Thania. No.
I step up next to you, or
he points
right behind you.
Zorda. Who are you?
Thania. And Rakas just steps back and crosses his arms.
Okay. Just for fun, let's get some psionic powers happening.
Okay. Nice.
I would like to cause sleep on this guy.
All right.
So range of 20 yards, so I know he's in range.
He's definitely in range.
Oh, I should have gotten Azul or Sikia or Ela or somebody. I didn't know you were going to start spelling them to death.
No, it's not a spell. This is psionic power.
What is it called? Cause sleep?
Cause sleep, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Get an MAC of 11.
Yeah, okay.
One creature makes an intelligence save or falls asleep until I stop paying the upkeep.
Oh, and that's awesome. The reason I wanted to look it up, I couldn't remember if it was psychometabolic or telepathic. That means you don't need to have, make a successful mental attack on him. You're just cutting off the flow of blood to his brain. All right, so go ahead and make your MAC roll or your mental attack roll. It'll be the bonus to activate powers against, what's the MAC on it?
Yeah, +4. It's 11. Is 11, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, roll 20.
Holy
23.
shit, nice. So what does it look like? With psionic powers, you don't have to gesture or anything like that too, but there's sometimes a manifestation, or is it just happens?
I lock eyes with him, and I give him a big smile, and no one else would notice this except him. My eyes swirl a little bit, the pupils swirl a little bit, and it's sort of it's a hypnotic trance, and then he just sort of slumps down, he's tired. He doesn't drop instantaneously. He sort of gets down and lays down and gets drowsy and starts to fuzzy.
So his smile slowly, one eye closes and the other flutters pretty heavily. I just rolled a save and did not succeed. Drops to his knees and then down into the dirt.
Excellent opportunity. And so, feigning concern, for my half-elven brethren, I will rush over and cup his head in my arms, and then fleece him for everything he's got.
So why don't you give us a? This is an excellent example of where, like, anything that one of the challenges that some versions of D&D have is like, well, if you want to do thief stuff, how do you model that in the game? The way that C&C does it is just you don't get to add your level unless you've got levels in that. So you can make it's a dex test. Let's set the difficulty at 3, just from onlookers who are around. So it'll be your CB for dexterity plus 3, and that number is 1d20, and you want to roll that number or higher.
Okay, so I'm going to add in my dex bonus, and
That's already included in the CB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm a dummy, and I thought it'd be easier to have that in there.
Okay.
Because your dex is a favored one too. So your CB is an 8 plus 3 is an 11. I just need 11 or higher. Nice. All right.
Okay.
So there is. I don't think you have time to really like go through and see specifically what he's got on him, but there does seem to be a pouch or like a folio that is black leather treated thing inside his like the jacket or jerkin or whatever. You get that out and his coin purse, and then do you just leave him there?
Yeah.
No one has any notice of it, though. I mean, I think that you being the elf, they're expecting certain things of you. So
I shall shake my head and just look really concerned as I tread away.
Okay. People are walking around over. No one is helping him as the crush of people get in. Knowing there's a delay getting in, having traveled over the sands for such a long day, no one is really interested in helping some idiot who just fell asleep. So that gets around one of the followers. Tell me what plans you guys have, if any, for dealing with the Templars.
Well, I what do you go ahead?
Do we happen to know the race of Banthar, the contact that
a human as well?
Human. Okay.
Yeah. And Banthar is likely going to be found near here. Oh, that is not a thing. Probably somewhere near the slave pens. Slave pens is where the laborers are working too, but often that's also where, if the gladiators act up or whatnot, that's sort of the punishment for them. It's also a place to draw more, fodder. You need victors and you need victims in the gladiator pits, and the those who are injured trying to and no longer able to build things on the ziggurat make for great victims. So he is often found around there. Does that play into a plan? You got a plan in mind?
Well, I was thinking that if we need to, we could let them know that we're looking for Banthar, that we're here as part of the gladiatorial event, and perhaps that might fast track us through a little bit versus ending up in the labor force.
Okay. Anyone have any way of falsifying any kind of records? I think Dave.
I'm the great Rakas. What kind of records do I need?
Okay, you want to play up your reputation?
I've won many a fights.
How about the rest of these folks? How many are you passing them off as gladiators as well?
Am I hearing this? So they're like,
maybe the half giants. Order for the grinder.
I mean, Crit Kick would be pretty handy because he doesn't need any weapons either. Just scratches and bites. It's pretty effective.
Okay. So is that the plan then?
And Crit Kick's, I guess, a little exotic, I guess.
Not entirely sure what Ela does. Are you here for support?
We are. Oh, go ahead.
Are you here for support?
It's a good plan.
I mean, we are a strange crew of people. One other option is to. I'm assuming this is like a flashback to like what we would have talked about on our travel, maybe.
Yep, absolutely.
And maybe this doesn't make any sense, but possibly because we're this eclectic group, we can say we're entertainers or something like that. We come from different lands, we travel all around, and we are here to, do some kind of performance in tier. Since many of us do not look like potential gladiators, but a strong person, having a strong man, could be part of a little circus performance day.
Yeah, the famed Ruckus has an entire entourage that comes with him and performs and brings the festivity up a level.
Okay.
The magnificent Rukas and his traveling troupe.
Does anyone have any way of creating any? I know that Dave's character for tomorrow, not this Dave, Lord Z Dave, has the scribe skill. Does anyone have any way of creating something to substantiate this, or are you going just on your charm and trying to convince them?
Does my mind thrust is that a damage thing too, or is that like a put an idea in their head thing?
Yep.
No, it's damage.
No, that's a mind thrust. It's a type
mind.
of cycle. It's a way of breaking through the defenses in a prepared mind.
That won't help here.
Yep. It doesn't mean you can't do it.
Exactly.
I mean, you might not want to.
Soundburst is still on the table.
Do you have any spells called Forge Documents?
Just trying to help, guys.
Can we kind of like profile the line as well and just see who is the essential border person we want to line up with? Who is the one who looks like he's just about going off his shift or doesn't seem to give as much of a crap? And can we also find like the group of people who are most likely to draw the most attention and kind of go after them or before them, just so that like they're definitely going to get searched? Can we make it like more advantageous for us and like line ourselves up because they're definitely criminals and we just need to be passed through or something like that? Can we just profile the line sort of thing like that?
No, definitely, yeah. Why don't we, let's do this. Why don't you give us, Ela, so it'll be a wisdom check for sure. I'm trying to judge whether, why don't you add your level to that as well, and we'll set the difficulty at we'll set it at a 2. I think it'll be easy to find in the chaos of this. So that'll be CB plus 2. That's the number or higher you want to roll on 1d20 plus your level. Holy shit.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So who do you think it is that's the most disruptive ones coming in here? Is it...
That's rolling a 20, though. That's not rolling a d20.
Oh, you just rolled... Yeah. It's an easy way to get that.
That's what I get for trying to read at the same time.
Dave, none of us even noticed.
Exactly.
I like
I'm going to do that from now on. That's awesome.
Good. Thanks, everyone.
I was about to say, like, damn, you definitely like travel borders frequently.
Of course.
Just mix it up now. Do like a roll 18 and we'll be fine.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's 2 pluses in there, but a 14 plus 2.
16.
Roll 1d20 plus 2. Okay.
Okay, but what is Ela's...
Okay, that's not as good.
I say keep the 14. That's my vote.
Fortunately, your wisdom is quite good, though, so that is, that is more than good enough. Who do you think it is that is causing the most disruption here? Do you think it's maybe, some, like a mix of human and half-elf hunters are coming in, or, some minor merchant class or merchant house folks are punching out of their weight?
I think there's definitely some merchants coming that look a little bit shady, but they're definitely used to better treatment than they're getting here, and they're definitely going to stomp their feet because this line is very long. They're sweaty, like they're sweating under their umbrellas. They're just very high maintenance, and they just do not appreciate the service they're getting here. You got it. Let's throw them under the bus.
Exactly. So, if you guys wish to make things even more difficult for them, you certainly could do that as well. The material components that wizards use, for instance, is one of the things that they immediately look for, that the Templars will be looking for, and it definitely has a consequence. There are other forbidden things going in. So if you have some way to make it even more difficult for them, you can feel free to do so, if you would be willing to do that.
I think we should plant something on them that makes them look like wizards.
I can create magic stones or good berries. I don't know if those are prescribed.
Good
items.
berries make you heal.
I remember
magic
that.
stones are just you toss when they blow up.
Did
Oh, they're perfect. Well, that would.
did anybody see?
I mean, just conceal one among them. They have explosives.
Did anybody see Gaelic take anything from that half elf?
No.
Hey. Okay. Never mind.
No, sorry. What did you have in mind,
It's
Dave?
like, he's basically got someone else's possessions. It's like plant it on him and then say, "Hey, we saw them beat that guy up and take his money."
So that would be involved you planting it on. I guess first off, Gail, would you have let your associates know that you had robbed that guy, or would they have known him well enough, having traveled with him, to be like, all right, we know what's going on.
I think
here.
I would have signaled my actions with a broad smile.
So you recognize the shit-eating grin that Gaelic's got.
If Azul saw that grin, knowing Gaelic enough by now, I think Azul, given what I said about my current alignment, might really try hard to look the other way, but he's really struggling.
So then, Rakas, you are aware that he took that.
He leans into Gaelic and says, "If you can get that half elf's purse onto this party here, maybe we can cause a ruckus. Let them know that they roughed up the elf, took his stuff."
I don't look incredibly deflated by this, but I suppose, it's just things. Easy come, easy go.
Nothing identifiable.
Yeah, I'll try that. I will just try and sort of, we're all very tightly pressed in. Perhaps that bag will just appear on one of them.
Okay. How do you propose? You can try it on your own as well, too. You do have at least one. I'm looking across the things. At least one character here who is quite light-fingered. That would be Sakia. She is a lady of many talents, all of which are dangerous.
Okay. I shall pass the bag to Sakia.
Okay.
With a nod.
Yes, and a nod back, and Sakia will get close and I guess attempt a reverse pickpocket.
Okay. This feels so wrong.
Yes.
All right. So here's what the higher sort of station the person is, the more difficulty it will be to get in. Strangers coming in, even though this is a, House Karen is quite a struggling or either up and coming or has been merchant house, they're still going to have guards around them just like anyone else. So if you want to get it on a guard, that's probably going to be like a difficulty 1. If you want to get it on, like, say, one of the heads of the merchant house, that's going to be like a 5. What I'll also allow is if anyone else wants to try and assist with that, with any abilities or any sort of tactics or whatnot, you can feel free to do so.
So is there anything in between in terms of, is it 1 to 5, or are there other folks in there?
Yeah, there's going to be like mid-level functionaries on it. There's one of the things that is a truism across all of Athos is the closer you get to the city, the more there's hierarchies in everything. So in here, there's going to be like the caravan guards. There's going to be the guys who lead the caravan guards, or the folks who lead the caravan guards. There's going to be the actual merchants themselves, and then there's the head of the caravan.
So I think I would definitely look towards a mid-level person who is somewhat plausible to look like they could have done what we're going to frame them to do. I don't want to put it on someone that doesn't look like they are physically capable of doing what we're going to accuse them of. So maybe someone who is associated with one of the heads of house, but not at the top.
Okay, so that it'll be, we'll say that there is a fairly well-fed and well, hydrated, like second son from one of the merchant houses who's sitting on the thing and like propped back, leaning back, drinking water. You can see that the, some of the guards likely have gone without for quite some time and are sort of looking up at him. He seems almost dozing off as his mother is at the front insisting to speak to a more senior Templar. The manager, as you were.
So I think Sakia will sort of make it look as if she's adjusting, her boot and kind of get in close, and as she's turning and leaving the area, try to place the pouch in an open pocket or something
is
on
it
him.
the folio that Gaelic found inside the guy's jerkin that you're placing, or is it his coin purse? Or both?
That's up to you, Gaelic, whatever you wanted to give up there.
Coin purse.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any abilities or things that they might want to... Yeah, exactly.
His purse.
That thing's going to be worth so much. It's all made of metal. Anyone else want to assist with this? Or are you going to let
Do you need a
Sakia...
distraction of some kind, or like we...
Any distraction, yeah. Like
I don't know if we want to call attention to ourselves. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you could also... I'm not sure what... to be honest, I can't remember what everyone's sonic wild talents are. If anyone's got something that might be able to assist. If not, going.
I have a sound one. Control sound.
Yes,
Shape
that is
and-
very much like ghost sound.
Shape and alter existing sounds.
Yeah.
So to make one of the animals bleat extra loud or something like that.
Sure. Okay. So why don't you give us what is your chance to your mental to hit? +1 and yeah, so +1. MAC for your control sound is 15. So 1d20 +1. You roll 15 or higher. Or you can spend your luck afterwards if you need to as well. Ooh. Spend
spend 2 points of luck.
You got it. So you're making your way up. You hear this screech. I'll drop the difficulty by 1, so that's down to a 2 now. Sakia, you want to give it... you get to add your level to this as a dexterity check, please.
All right.
And difficulty 2. Let's see here. I think you're rolling against an 11. Holy shit, nat 20.
Nice.
So
Yes.
what do you think the nat 20 effect is? I think... may I make a suggestion?
Yes, please.
The sound of the extra bleeding, as this lands on this dozing guy, he wakes up, but the bleeding calls the attention of the Templar. So he kind of looks up like, what is... And they come over, and he's, the son is looking around, and then to tell you that you probably have judged the right person, he doesn't look around to see whose it is. He looks around to see who is looking, and then places it inside his robe. And the Templars come over and begin giving an even more thorough attention, which leaves you guys to go up to one of the less devoted or less attentive Templars. What is going on?
Perfect.
Great.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm imagining that maybe she even sort of, in seeing the circumstance come together, threw the bag into his pocket, which also stirred him and drew his attention to it, and called attention to the matter.
So he gets, I think he jerks awake and is like, someone struck me! Who struck me? So he's also drawing full attention to himself as well. The Templars, your plan is coming off perfectly. in spite of all the efforts, what you find is that it's just as you're going through the sort of it's there's not usually this much of a rigorous customs thing. It's usually a matter of like collect a bribe, make sure nothing illegal is coming in you go. What they seem to be doing is inventing reasons to bully, especially smaller travelers in smaller groups or those who seem vulnerable. They're all being head off to those slave cages and then trucked off to the slave pens. You have given the one who seemingly just did not care enough, does your inspection, collects a bribe, but not too much of one, and you folks are sent through. So, making your way through the actual tunnel itself is a fairly, in spite of there being a fair amount of room in here, the stink, the oppressive heat, and the claustrophobic, the length of this tunnel in comparison to the wide open sky you've been walking through, it is a little bit of a relief when you step out into the sprawl that is the city of Tyr. To reach this dwarf, whose name I need to look up again, Hivash, they are somewhere here in the Artisans District near the stonemasons. So you will need to make your way through here. And all along the way, you can see, almost like ants moving across it, there are thousands of people working on that massive ziggurat. The sound, the smell, the noise of the city is overwhelming for those of you who are, or nearly at least, for those of you who are more familiar with the wilds. But do you wish to do anything before you set off in the direction of the Artisan District? Then might I suggest something? A mid-session break. So
I like it.
We're going to take a 5-minute break here, folks. We will be back in 5 minutes, and then we will see what our heroes find waiting for them in the city of Tyr. So back momentarily. right. How's the temperature been in your place today, Dave?
It's 25 in my place right
Holy
now.
fuck.
I just opened up a bunch more windows. I'm like, hey, we gotta get a breeze in here.
Yes, I had to keep, like, I'd open the window, or open the door to the backyard, and then close it till the day, because I've got, I don't have a wasp nest here, but it's that time of year where they're just fucking buzzing around everywhere. I bought a bunch of those fake wasps nests. They do nothing. I found a bunch of them landing on, so they're like, this place looks awesome. Let's live here now. And I heard that dryer sheets can keep them away, but I found one crawling among two of the ones that I posted up too. So I got a bug zapper showing up tomorrow, and I got a sticky trap showing up afterwards. Hopefully that will make a difference, but it's just a pain in the butt.
And it's always the wasps. It's not the bee, because like bees, they're gonna leave you alone. They're gonna do their thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's always the wasps and their dicks.
Well, it's also Anna's not.
Oh right.
Yeah, like she tries to bite him. You know, we've
totally,
had the
yeah,
like puffy-faced pup for a couple of times last summer. Because she gets mad at them, barks at them. I was trying to have a nap yesterday, and I'm napping. I can hear her barking at something, and it wasn't the type of bark when she's yelling at someone outside. It was a type of bark of, it was a different growly kind of thing. I came out, and she'd cornered a wasp, and it managed to not sting her, but she managed to injure it enough so it couldn't fly away. And I'm like, you're just going to get yourself stung again, you dummy. So, yeah, wasp killer. Goofus. All right, so we are all back. Now, guys, folks, how do you intend on tracking down, I guess, first off, safely navigating the streets of Tyr, and how do you intend on tracking down this dwarf? He's going to head there and look around, try and find the guy. You're going to ask around for Hivash? What do you think?
Anybody have any contacts that can help us with that?
I could leverage my elven trading contacts in the elven market. One, Revea, who I have some contact with, and they may provide us with some guidance through particularly the elven market section of the city.
Yeah, getting to the Artisan District, you'll be following the Caravan Way, but it will be passing through the elven, at least the Warrens, for a degree.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I mean, I don't want to make this sound harder of a task than what it is. It's really just a matter of, you should be able to be asking around. If any, we said Sakia has been here before, and Thania has been here before. You could just make, one of the things with the city is that it is torn down and built out. Oh, and Gaelic's been here before as well. You could make give us an intelligence check. Each of you can add your level to it. We'll put it at a we'll put it at a 3, about your level for difficulty. Let's see if you know precisely where to go yet. I think intelligence is actually a favorable stat for some of you as well, or primary stat. Okay. Ooh. Gaelic, was that a success?
I think so. CB 13.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, you know precisely. At the very least, you know the part of the Artisans District where you're going to find the stonemasons.
Cool.
And who was the other one? Oh, Sakia, right.
Sakia hadn't actually been here to Tyr before.
Oh, okay, okay.
But she's a rogue. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, no, I think you're good to go here. So, because of your rogue status and Gaelic's experience with the Elven Market, the trip across town, apart from being, for those of you from a more rural environment, being just an absolute overwhelming spread. And the difference between the Caravan District through the Warrens and the Elven Market, and then down into the Artisans District, you're really getting to see a huge variety of different, almost like different cities. The one overwhelming reminder that you remain in the city of King Kalak is that massive ziggurat that's always looming above you and to the left. You reach
While
the
we're traveling, do we go through or past the Shadow Square at all?
Shadow Square is a little ways off. So Shadow Square is down here.
Okay, thank you.
And Shadow Square is notorious for having like 6 different taverns, all sort of around it. If you happen to ask about Shadow Square, Gaelic would know, being that he's familiar with this, of like, oh, you're up to no good. Got it. Because the Shadow Square is not only within the Warrens, it's also within the Elven Market. It's kind of like the Dark Sun equivalent of the Mos Eisley Cantina. I'm telling them. What are you crying about? Even she knows you don't go to the Shadow Market. She's crying. Oh, no. You could make a diversion there if you like, or you could go there afterwards. What are you thinking?
I just wanted to know where it was in the scheme of the map, if we were going past it or not.
Yeah, right down here.
Definitely heading towards the artisan markets there. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So as you guys, folks, make your way into the Artisans District, what you find is okay. Drop it, good girl. What you find is you hear the Stonemasons District, or at least the Stonemasons Street, before you ever get to it. And when you get there, what you find is there is this fairly sprawling, long. Did I load it? Did I think to load it? Hold on. How smart was I earlier today? Moderately smart. Hold on here. I have an illustration of the streets. And this is a black and white one, but it is one of my favorites. To give you an idea of what the streets of Tyr. Tyr, one thing that is unusual for this as comparison to, say, Uruk, there are quite a few 2-story buildings in here. Here's an idea of what you're passing as you're making your way through the streets of Tyr. You can see that kind of, lizard or like chicken-looking dinosaur there. That is a Crodlu. And the one stomping along, I actually don't know what that's supposed to be. It looks kind of like an Inyx, but not quite. But it's like, in spite of it being this oppressive, slave society, it's full of people. They're just thousands and thousands of people crammed into this small area. And this particular street, it's mostly 1-story buildings in here, but the work that's being done is often spilling out into the street. There's people working on friezes that are going to be destined for the ziggurat in a variety of different colors. There's people who are waiting for like lacquer to draw to like very, very colorful lacquers to set on the ziggurat, and unsurprisingly, architectural tastes among the nobles, particularly those who are seeking favor among with Kalak and his Templars, is often to try and ape what is coming into shape over the past 20 years with the ziggurat. So there's lots of smaller scale versions of the type of gaudy, multicolored work that you see on the ziggurat as well. The Stonemasons District seems particularly busy. There's tons of people out. There are dwarves, half-elves, moles, humans, all working with a wide variety of different ages and different skill levels. So plenty of people to ask around about, or ask the directions for. Who would like to be the one, I guess, how do you guys want to approach this?
I will ask no one.
Probably not a bad idea.
Anyone want to take a lead here?
I will just tell everybody that a standard operating procedure for me is to always try to stay in the background unless absolutely necessary, just because of all the things going on with me. But I always step up in an emergency to deal with things. But I'm trying to maintain a low profile as much as possible. So if anybody else wants to take the lead, that's great. If not, I will step up.
Okay.
It's not really Gaelic's forte. I think Gaelic is spending more of his time appraising the prey that is around us to ensure that we're not bothered on our way.
Yeah, Yeah, Sakia is definitely low profile as well. She's a rogue and a defiler, and she has a lot to hide. She's an escaped slave, so she's not in striking up conversations with random folks.
No.
And Jamie, do the rest of us know that you're a defiler, or have you kept that part secret?
No, it's so far been secret. I've been able to hide it.
Good. Might be a problem. Okay.
Understood.
So, is anybody else want to take the lead here, or should Thania start to be the one to ask around? She speaks native Tier tongue with no accent. Just saying.
Ela's definitely a more like stay towards the back sort of person as well. So sorry, guys.
So you guys walk.
I've got to cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not used to cities. Also, I'm not inconspicuous at all.
So Thania is at the back and kind of thinking, of the plans that she's going to be coming up with to get, I've got to get myself to that shadow square somehow. And then looks up and the entire party is facing you.
Yeah, and I look around to see who they're looking at.
You.
In a classic way.
Yeah, Cricket is, has emotions of like gawking at a city and claustrophobia because it's all cramped, right? Used to. And very different than his hive. Like, at least there's anyway. So yeah, definitely not.
Sure. So I think Thania, when you realize that your laconic colleagues are starting to draw attention from some of the slaves working on the thing of like, what are they underdressed? Like, is Calic sending out mercenaries now?
So I immediately will, gesture for my colleagues to continue moving, not just sort of stand around. And I obviously, it's been a long time since I would have been here last, but I think because I was very impressionable as a child that I have a general sense of where we need to go, even though it's very, as you can see, like we can all see, it's very windy and it's not a grid.
Yeah.
But I think I have a general impression of the direction we can start heading, so I'll at least start going that direction. And then I think I have this cover as sort of being this, actor and a dancer, so I'm going to, play that up definitely. And I'm going to look for somebody who is kind of busy with something else, whatever it is they're doing, carrying something, whatever, who's not a Templar, of course, who is a regular citizen, not a slave either. I don't want to get in trouble talking to them. But somebody who looks like an average Tyrian citizen, who's in a hurry to do something and try to just very quickly go, oh, can you point me in the direction of the... And
sure. So it takes about one or two questions from this end. After about 15 minutes or 20 minutes of one or two other directions, you guys find yourself closer to the other end. And you've been given the direction that the shop that Hivash runs is. It has outside of it a hanging, on a sign. There is, not unsurprisingly, there's a hammer there. But the fact that it is stained green, it's the jade hammer masons is his particular shop. So it's easy for you to find. Unfortunately, when you reach the shop, you find that there is no one working outside of it. Amongst the cacophony of sound up and down this street, this is the one shop that seems to have no one working in it, and you can see that nailed across the entrance is a thick, treated leather hide of some creature. And there is a marking of purple with a gold star on the inside of it. I think Galek and Sakia, you need not, and actually probably Thania, that is of course a mark of Calic. This means that the shop has been closed by order of the Templars and the king.
This is not good. And I look around to see if any Templars or anybody are watching at the shop.
You can actually see there is a middle-aged, maybe like 50, 55-ish year old woman who is working outside, and she seems to be all her other, the other masons are working, or the other slaves and other apprentices are working away on tasks. Her attention is fixed on you guys.
I would then like to use my psionic power of danger sense.
Okay.
Which the CK is the one who makes the roll for that.
Yes. Does not appear to be anything. I think I'm supposed to roll that when there is an ambush. I don't think you have to trigger it necessarily. Or is it? Hold on.
It says your shorthand with the CK makes the roll for you when you want to activate it.
Oh yeah, because otherwise you'd be out.
And there is danger. Yeah, you exactly, because I got to keep it going. And it's a range of 50 yards.
As a non-sequitur, we had one time we were playing Rifts years ago, and Brent's character had danger sense, and he was being such a dick about it. I kept having people surprise him and then disappear, and surprise him and disappear. So I just drained all of his PSP.
You're kidding! You're kidding me! You're saying Brent was doing that? That's shocking.
Brent is a great player. He's very min-maxy.
He's a great player. He knows Rift better than anybody I know.
Absolutely. Anyway, you don't. I mean, apart from the clearly busybody look that this person has, in fairness to her, you all do quite stand out among the people that are here. You are all fairly heavily armed. You have a wide variety of different, species, and you don't have any clear association. You're not clearly part of a merchant house. You're not part of the Templars. So she says, "You can't find him here. He's gone."
What happened to him?
Who are you? How do you know him?
Oh, I don't know him. I was heard that he is an excellent craftsman, and my master sent me here to inquire about some work he needs done.
She crosses her arms and shifts. And who's your master?
He is not even from this city. I do not think you would know of his name, but he is Arashia. Do you know him?
Why don't you give us a... Let's see here. So it sounds like you're bamboozling her. Does Thania have any kind of... Go ahead.
I've got some stuff. So I have...
I have no doubt.
Gives me +2 to all charisma. Has +2 to all charisma checks.
Okay.
I have a good charisma to begin with. And I have other things to do if it starts going wrong.
Okay.
But I'm going to start with that.
So this is going to be a DC of 3. So it'll be a charisma check against a 3. I am willing to accept your suggestion that being part of the Veiled Alliance necessitates a history of lying and coming up with stuff. So I'd let you add your level to that.
Okay, but here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to use a hero point to get an natural 20.
Nice. Okay, she. I think what happens is her expression shifts almost immediately, and says, "Oh, you're not from here."
No, do you not hear my accent? And I will kind of adjust, so I definitely have my non-Tyrian accent.
Okay. And she looks, well, I don't know what he did, but he and all his apprentices, his entire shop, all his slaves, they're now working on the ziggurat.
Oh no, that's terrible. How long ago did this happen?
Her expression changes. He was a traitor.
He was a traitor? Oh, that's horrible. What did he do?
Well, I don't know. But this wouldn't happen if he wasn't.
Oh, I see.
And then you see her demeanor shifts once again, and she steps forward. But you did want to have some work done by a patron from another city-state.
I did not know. My master does. So I do not want to get in trouble. He will beat me. You don't understand. I need to find this man. There's no way. I guess there's no way for me. I guess it's too late.
It is too late, but and she takes another step towards you. our work easily surpasses that of his shoddy workmanship. I'm certain if we could discuss things that your master would be most appreciative of the quality of craftsmanship that we can offer.
Yes, well, I think that is a great idea, an excellent suggestion, and I would love to see the craftsmanship that. Are you the sculptor? Or mason? What is
kind
your
of
role?
rears up and says, "I'm the master mason here." Yes.
I see. Okay, I would love to see. I would love to take a look. Perhaps my companions, though. Perhaps you should see what else we should do. I'm not sure, but I will take a look at what.
She looks over the kind of motley. They're with you then.
Well, they ensured that I arrived here safely. It's very dangerous out in the desert, as you probably know.
She takes yet another step towards you. Her voice kind of gets a little bit lower and says,
Okay.
"You should know, I am most trustworthy. If, for instance, you were traveling incommunicado as a representative of one of the houses and wish not to draw attention to work outside of the preferred vendors, then I would most assuredly be discreet in any work that we did and any vendoring."
Well, that is very good to know.
She seems to have it in her head that these are your bodyguards and that you are working for a merchant house.
Yeah.
So you can feel free to take that as far as you like with her. And that 20 was...
Yes, well, and I kind of look like I'm checking, make sure no one's overhearing. I appreciate that very much. You are clearly a very intelligent person, very wise.
You must be careful here. You realize the Calyx Templars are roaming the streets, and those who cannot explain their presence, they're dragged off to the pits. I have no doubt that he, and she gestures at the Jade Hammer, he had this coming, but you need to be careful. There are press gangs running through the city, collecting people, his half-giants, tossing them into caravans, and dragging them down, never to be seen again, worked to death on the ziggurat. Decent people.
And you mean they took Habash and all of the people who worked for him?
Yes, all. He was a traitor, mind. But even if you are traveling and have not the ability to call on the influence of your house, well then, how would the Templars know?
Well, I would not know what you're talking about, of course.
Of course.
But I'm going to... Maybe I have a couple of ceramic pieces on me. I'm going to just... and I'll spend a hero point if I need to make that a real thing.
Sure.
That's some sort of... I'm gonna like, you know.
If you're
like,
looking for
kind of,
the pieces, we could have Gaelic step forward and one or two of the coins that he procured from that pouch before giving it over to Psychea could find their way into your hand.
Perhaps one of my companions can. Thank you very much for your helpful words. And I look over at Gaelic and I'm like.
Yeah, I'll sort of wander up and sort of look rather quizzically at Thernia and sort of pass over some coins. A gesture of thanks, of course, good lady.
And thank you, very kind. She grasps them like white-knuckled, like no one's getting them out of her hands again. Then perhaps when the sun sets, you could come by and we can discuss particulars of the work that you require, that your master requires, in confidence, of course.
Yes, no, my master would be very very thankful for that opportunity. I shall return at that time.
Again,
could you point out? Oh, go ahead.
Take care.
Yes.
I imagine that with your, I would not presume that your influence would not allow you to free yourself from any such troubles in the streets of Tyr, but to avoid having to expose any connections that you wish not to, it might be best to avoid the press gangs.
Well, to that end, blending in and not making ourselves known, could you recommend a tavern where we could potentially quench our thirst?
In here, or are you staying elsewhere?
Well, for the moment, here, so I'm nearby, so I can return later today.
Oh, most definitely. There is...
Maybe some place where we could maybe talk to some of the other vendors.
The other vendors?
Well, a place that looks, low profile. I do not want to come across as someone who might not attend that sort of establishment.
I see you. Discretion, of course.
Yes, exactly.
Discretion. Well, if you wish to make your way back across the city, near where the caravanseries are, there is the Golden Inix Inn. There is no more common port of call.
Mm-hmm.
Curious that I know that when there is no oceans here, but in any event.
That is curious. A conversation for another time.
Indeed. You cannot miss it. In fact, if you think you remember passing it, it's one of the things, right? Like, it's one of the big inns and taverns located right off of the main caravan gate, or the caravan way, I should say.
Speaking of discretion, it is most unfortunate that Hivash has left his workshop unattended and empty.
I mean, it's not completely... Oh, wait, no. Wrong alignment. It's not yet empty.
It is. Well, they've sealed it off. They didn't even take anything. All his materials are still there.
Yeah.
Strange.
But again, this should not be a concern. I can assure you that any task, any project that the Jade Hammer would be capable of, we certainly can perform the same.
Very good to know. Well, we appreciate your help. I want to just check with my companions for a moment. Is there anything I'm forgetting? We traveled a long way. I'm a little lightheaded from the desert heat. Is there anything I'm forgetting to inquire about?
How about Banthar? Do you know of Banthar? He's a Templar.
Banthar. I don't know the... does he deal with the stonemasons?
I think he works closer to the stadium.
Oh, I would not know such things. No, I once a year we get to the fights, but it's been so busy, you see.
I see.
Well, perhaps... Yeah, go ahead if there's...
No, I just wonder, I'm sort of more interested in what might be in Hivash's sort of workshop and area, whether there were any other points of entrance.
Most definitely, yeah.
And I'm going to, cross past Gaelic and very quickly try to whisper, or gesture and whisper. We'll be basically, we're going to come right back here. We're going to pretend we'll come right back.
Okay.
Okay. How do you guys?
Thank you for your help, and I will return shortly. I do know where you're talking about, back at the other side of the city. So we will travel there and return later tonight, or when the sun is setting.
Very well. I will look forward to it. And she,
So
no, you're doing that
lead
wrong.
everybody.
And she goes over and starts yelling at one of the apprentices.
So my plan is this: to lead everybody away, but not get too far, just get out of her sight, and then congregate and come up with a plan together.
Okay. You guys certainly have an opportunity to do that. There's maybe a junction, or a what do you call it, intersection between two things, where like you're able to stand far enough away from the shops to be able to talk to one another without being overheard, or at least obviously being overheard.
And could
I think Gaelic is on the right track.
Yeah, and could I check the pouch that I got from that poor half-elf Zorda on the way in? What exactly is it?
So if you look in there, the first thing you think is there seems to be like a papyrus. Okay, hold on. Yes, I know. I think someone's ball got under somewhere that you can't get to. Mm-hmm.
I think that's my danger sense going off.
Yeah, exactly. What it is it looks like there's a bunch of a loose papyrus that has. At first, you think it's a language that you don't reckon. What is it? What is it? Where's your ball? Where's your ball? Nope, she's just being a jerk. She's run off. Sorry.
So when I retreat from this district and then plan to maybe check out the shop or get into the shop.
Well, Gaelic was just checking his the thing he found. At first, you think Gaelic that it isn't a language that you're familiar with, but then you sort of recognize that this is not actually an alphabet that anyone uses in the Tablelands, and your mind goes to a code of some kind. There are coded notes in here of some kind.
Okay.
Certainly not something that an average traveler would have on them, and with the way that the individual was dressed, it's not a merchant. If he's able to write something in here in code, not only does it mean he's lettered, which is really unusual in any of the non-noble circles, it also means that he is educated enough to be able to write in code.
But is something political or magical, do I think?
There are a number of different things. There's always, criminal enterprises that want to try and operate under the nose of the authorities. Yeah. There is this thing, the Veiled Alliance of preservers, of other kinds of mages who want to try and oppose the Sorcerer Kings. There's also spies.
I'll share it with the group. I'll share it with the group.
Spies from other cities, spies from merchant houses. So, you guys see this as well, too. So what do you make of that?
I didn't know something. Perhaps Thania might recognize something, especially if it's a preserver.
I will definitely go look.
Sorry, are any of us familiar with the coded language that we see? Ela
and Thania, if you both take a look at it, it's definitely not something that you've seen used by any of the sects of the Veiled Alliance. And the Veiled Alliance is not only made up of wizards as well, too. They have people from all sorts of different backgrounds go and work with them. It's just more working towards the goal of safe use of arcane magic and opposing defilers. Anyone can be, on board with that. But this person, it's not a code that you're familiar with.
Sakia has a skill for decipher script. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So the difficulty for this would be a 5.
Wow.
So I think that's an intelligence check, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so what is...
She has a 2.
Yeah. It could be important.
Yeah, I should probably go ahead and just hero point this. I think that is a great recommendation.
I'm ruining the day. I said, just spend all your hero points, guys. We don't need dice for this game at all. So what, what do you think it is that is about it that makes it easy for you to, to transcribe this thing?
I think maybe she's seen some documents in the past that had some reference to this from my background and working in the gladiator area.
So this actually may be, we haven't talked about where you got your Defiler training from, but this is definitely a secret. This is a folio tracking, like there's a shorthand that's used as well too in the kind of trade tongue once you transcribe it from the code. But this is the code of a spy. This is someone who is an agent, and from the way that they're talking, it seems like as if it is an agent of Tyr. It's one of Calix's spies. It seems that this person has been sort of traveling the region, and there's a lot of discussion in it, just from flipping through, of travelers. This may be someone who routinely inserts themselves into the folks coming in and out of Tyr, and, you know, tries to root out secrets about them.
Well, slipping off this idea.
Okay.
But fortunately, you guys killed him, right? I mean, you didn't just rob a spy of Tyr and then leave him outside the city, right?
He sadly fainted, which was terrible.
Heat, it's the sun. Too much sun.
Yeah. Yeah. Shocking.
We were going to talk to him, but he took a nap. I don't know what his problem was.
So this is, suffice it to say, if the Templars find you with this, or find you with this on you, this is for sure death sentence stuff. After excruciating magical and psionic torture.
Yeah. Well, it might be worth something.
Most definitely, yeah. Most definitely. Anyone who's opposed to the crown, if so, particularly with Sakia deciphering the code, that's may just be something he's using himself, but yeah. You would recognize this fellow if you saw him again too. So even being able to point out one of the spies of Calic, there's got to be some value in that, right? So. Useful. Other suggestions in chat might be try to breach the shop under Cloak and Night, and you can watch for the watch while you inspect. One thing you can see here, there's actually not an awful lot of Templars here. It seems that the what's going on at the gate and the rush to complete the ziggurat, it may be drawing the attention of folks.
Does there seem to be something that has changed recently to cause the sort of, there seems to be something going on. There seems to be
there is an energy in the city, not to be too flaky, but there is just an energy in the city that is like a city on the verge of something, whether that is, a dramatic change for the better. If what Calic's plan is, the thing he's going to unveil is the release of all slaves. That's going to piss off a hell of a lot of people in the city. If it doesn't result in that and it's something darker, that's going to piss off a whole lot of slaves. And I think Athos gives those who live in it very good reason to not expect happy endings. So you have a very anxious city that just seems on the verge of kind of almost like it's the entire community is in a manic kind of phase. You've never seen the stonemasons, for instance, as busy as this are. There's never been that kind of backup at the gates of Tyr as there is now, and the mass imposition of slavery for the smallest of reasons. There hasn't been press gangs. The way that the Templars will operate is, they'll pick up people and yes, they go in, thrown into the slave pens and will serve until they die. But to have roving slave gangs or press gangs, if that's the case, definitely a different attitude from what was here before.
Okay. So I relay that, based on my personal experience of having, been born here, that what the difference is between then and now.
Not sure about
so we're all aware.
But anyone who continues to talk about how easily it is to trust them, I've often found the least of trustworthy people. You don't need to convince me of your trust with your words. You need to do it with your actions. And I got a bad feeling from her. She might just be a chatty old woman, but still.
She does know a lot about us at this point. We've acknowledged that we're together. I think from here forward, we should perhaps walk in a staggered fashion so that we don't draw so much attention.
If she thinks we're from one of the houses, I mean, she could think far worse things of us for the time being.
Yeah, but what if she told on the Jade Hammer?
And what would she tell?
What if she spread some gossip about him or get rid of her competition?
That's quite possible.
Gaelic, with your mercantile background, you know that is one definite. In all of the city-states, one of the most convenient ways of dealing with rivals is accuse them of being a traitor. Accuse them of treason against the crown.
But perhaps I can deal with her by making me, she thinks it's me, be interested in her services. So she wouldn't want to harm us because she stands to make money.
So long as she stands to make money.
Right.
Out of character, we were sent here to meet this guy. That was part of our we're getting paid for. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll need to figure out if we can finish our duty then.
I think, out of character, I think the mission was to actually give him the tablets. Is that right?
Yeah, deliver the tablets and you're going to get paid. The difficulty is you're now in this city without money, or at least without substantial amounts of money. So,
and as she said, without a way to, like, we have no way of excusing our presence here.
Would you each kindly give us a wisdom check against a difficulty of 3, please?
Straight wisdom, no level bonus.
Everyone can add their wisdom bonus to this.
Sorry, I meant level.
I'm sorry, everyone can add their level to their roll, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
I closed my sheet.
Against difficulty, what you said?
3.
Oh, so close. I need
you can spend luck if you like.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's...
do it. Nobody's spent luck yet. No, actually, I guess Dave did, but let's do more.
I'll spend 1.
Okay.
Wait, that's... Why am I taking it off of that? That's not where that goes.
Yeah, I rolled so low.
Green bar is your hero points. Blue bar is your psionic strength points. And
Right. I got my luck recorded elsewhere. So that's fine. So easy. I can re-roll.
Right on the button.
If you're spending a hero point, you can re-roll. If you're spending luck, you just add it to the result on a 1-for-1 basis.
Oh, yeah. Then I'll just use the 1 point because I'm right there.
So
I'm just
who
needed
was
1-to-1.
successful? Thumbs up. Okay. What happens is, as you guys are discussing, there is a group of kind of wrapped in rags urchins who come up and are kind of begging, please, alms, please.
Watch your pockets.
Yeah. Who beat their number by 3 or more? Nobody? Everyone else was on the nose? Sakia, you did quite well, didn't you?
She did. Yeah, she did beat it by.
Yeah. The way the kids are talking, or these, you can't see their faces really, but they have very unusual accents. Definitely not like another city in the tablelands. It's some other thing. You know who it reminds you of? Is Zol. That halfling psionicist. Anyone who made their... anyone who did not make the check. Gaelic, you failed? Then Sakia, you are the one who noticed that they are lifting the purses of the people who did not make their wisdom checks, and they have grabbed that thing off of Gaelic, the folio. Because these are not like standing near you; they're like right up and hitting up against you and crowding around. Please, sir, give me. We need money. We're hungry. Sakia, you recognize that there's this strange accent in them, and those of you who made your wisdom checks, you can tell there's something off about them, and you kept them at a distance. What would you like to do?
Grab them.
Grab the one especially that's grabbed the text.
Okay, so guys, George, let me add everybody here. Here you go.
Hold on. Were you about to beat up some kids?
You don't know they're kids.
He said street urchins.
You assume they're kids.
Yeah. Usually
All right.
we wouldn't call grown adults urchins.
Everyone can go ahead and roll 1d10. Sakia, remember you're adding +2 to yours. I guess first off, for this round, it will only be the ones who made their wisdom checks who will be able to act.
Okay. I was going to ask that. Okay. Yeah.
And you're going to want to beat my 6. And I have, I think, a thing loaded.
Can I take an offensive focus, Kev?
Yes, you can. It gives you what?
+3 to hit, -6 to my AC.
And minus, yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So the urchins have a 6.
Do we add anything to this?
Nope,
Or no?
just a 1d10. Dex bonuses are used as tiebreakers in it. Okay, go ahead and add your numbers in once you've added, and it's only people who have only characters for this round who were successful with their wisdom checks.
Yeah. But we still add the numbers in, right? We won't go.
You still add whatever you rolled, yeah. Like so, Crick, you got a 10.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Everyone's in.
What? So wait, Kevin, do you want me to You want me to roll even if I'm not going this round?
No. Only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So everyone's done. Let's go on descending. Crick, you're up first. What are you doing?
I can't go because I got.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I didn't
Rakas,
make my wisdom.
what are you doing?
I'm just going to punch the closest one.
Okay. Go ahead and give us an attack roll. Now, are you doing lethal or non-lethal? Because you're a gladiator, you can choose either.
Non-lethal.
Non-lethal, okay.
I figure if I cold cock one of them.
Quite possibly. Go ahead. Just grabbing. Holy smokes. Yeah, so you solidly hit one of them. Let me just see. What your damage is like what? Like 11 or something?
7.
7. Okay, hold on. I'm just checking. Where? Okay, here we go. So one of the things I picked up was for Castles Crusades was this thing they kickstarted recently. There's the book of NPCs. There's actually 3
Did you
of them.
just grab a new book?
Yeah, shocking. Yeah, exactly. Grab a new book, have a drink. The cool thing is it's got like just a shit ton of pre-gen NPCs with quick stats in them. It's super helpful just for finding stats. If I need like a 3rd level rogue, say, I can find all the info in here. All right, so yeah, that's a solid hit, and their hit points. 7. You knock this kid to the side, and you realize as soon as it hits, kind of staggers back, some of the ropes fall away. It is not a kid. At least not a human kid. It is a halfling that curses you in its tongue. And there are, let me give the health bars here.
Maybe I should have grabbed him.
Halflings are, in this setting, notorious cannibals. So I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, Jason in the chat will be very excited to hear that.
What is that?
He's been calling for halfling cannibals the whole session.
It's just for you, Jason. Thank you for asking that.
I thought he was just making a joke. I had no idea about the lore. Now I'm like, oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah, they're vicious.
Yeah.
What? Hey, Kevin. You could stop anytime now. That's enough of them.
I can't put any more on the screen. You gotta stop.
This is my Oliver Twist reference.
Oh no! I'd like to actually go to sleep when I log off tonight. You know.
All right, so then that was Rakas. You hammered one of these, and there you go.
Doesn't it down him though?
It is so. Sakia, what is your dexterity?
Is 15.
15. Okay, that is higher than theirs. So Sakia, you're up first. What are you doing?
Sakia would like to go after the one that's grabbed the text and grab them.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, so that is tink. Let's see here. Grab. I remember it being not terribly... this is how stupid I am. I figured there would be some kind of, unarmed encounter in here. I spent a whole bunch of time last night looking up nets. All right. Which is to say I need to quickly look up to see how that works in this game. I can't remember. Okay, here we go. Range combat, melee combat. Unarmed combat, grappling. Here we go. You're going against the defender's AC on a success. The defender is held and cannot act except to attempt to break the hold. So, go ahead and make your attack roll using your unarmed strike, and then we'll use it against their AC, which is a 15.
And do I add my level to this?
It should roll properly. You should roll the attack roll.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nat 20.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
So what do you want to have happen with this?
I think that Sakia, being very comfortable in hand-to-hand combat, would maybe hip toss the halfling while ripping away the text from the halfling.
So I will tell you that the way the unarmed combat works in this, it is coming back to me now, is that like on a first attack, successful attack, you grab them. You could do a second attack if they don't get themselves free, and then you knock them down and pin them. You could just do exactly like you say. They're on the ground and pinned and unable to get away. So I'll put one underneath you here.
Nice.
Okay. Then it is their turn. Seemingly from within the folds of their robes, there are a shit ton of little shivs, sharpened chitinous shivs that come out. The one that you're on, Sakia, it cannot attack you. Can it try and escape from a pin?
This was going to happen regardless. Yeah. Not my fault.
So the one that's under you has no hope in hell of trying to get free. I'm going to put two more towards you. Two more draw daggers and come towards you. What is your AC without your shield, Sakia?
It is 14.
14. All right, I only got one hit on you. And let's see here. That is 4 points of damage. One of them gets you. And would you kindly give us a Constitution check or Constitution save against a difficulty of 2?
So that just rolled like the check is?
Just like the check is, yeah. And you get to add your level to this.
All right.
I'll then have one try and stab Gallic. 2 go after Azul. And who's that last one going after?
Not good.
The last one is one of those ones is one I smoked.
You can re-roll with 2 hero points.
You can spend a hero point and re-roll, yeah. You also spend a hero point and automatically make the save. Oh, you know, it's 2. You gotta spend 2.
2 hero points, yeah.
But now, okay.
You just want to re-roll?
I'll re-roll.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh
my god.
No.
Well, wait. It's a saving throw, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just made it. Spend 2 hero points to automatically make a saving throw.
That is for yourself.
Oh,
luck. If you have luck, though, you
Okay.
can spend luck for him to try and make it. How much do you
How
have?
much for your
Well, you rolled a
luck?
1, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got
A lot
yeah.
of luck.
Sakia, you can feel as soon as that thing goes in, the stab itself isn't that bad. You've been, hurt with worse things in your day, but you immediately can feel the contortion and the tensing up of muscles, and you know precisely what that's been. The halflings, likewise, from their jungle home, are said to have brought with them scores of horrific poisons. You take 7 points of poison damage.
Oh, wow.
Galak, you get your full AC. Oh, fuck, but I rolled a 19, though. That is a total of plus 3. I got a 22. I think that probably is a hit.
yeah.
Would you kind of give us a Constitution save as well, too, please, against 2? 4 points of damage from the stabbing. And then go ahead and make a save. Azul, what is your AC? Does a 16 hit you?
I should say so. I have an AC of 11.
Okay. So then, oh fuck. No, it's only 1. So 4.
I mean, it's kind of hard to miss me. You know.
It is true. You take 4 points of damage. I need a Constitution save from you too, please. Galak, you're fine. I'm assuming that's plus your level is more than enough to hit your CB. Okay.
A Constitution saving throw difficulty of.
You know what? Let's put 1 on.
I punched one. You'd think
Oh
he
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to
So
react.
then Rakas for sure.
Kev, what was the difficulty of the
Dose.
con save?
Please.
2? Okay.
The last
I need
one.
I need
Rakas, does
under
a 13 hit you?
16 REC.
16. Okay, so this one tries to get in on you, and you easily knock its little dagger aside.
Oh, wait.
Oh no!
I took a -6 to my AC because of my offensive.
Oh
movement.
fuck! Then you're hit. Okay. Rakas, you take 4 points of damage. I need a con save from you. Azul, did you succeed?
I needed a 14.
Do you want to
Can I
spend
use
luck?
luck
Yeah,
on
this-
this?
Luck.
luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I use luck?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I will use 1 luck.
Remember, Dave, that doesn't work. You just need to roll 1d20 plus your level against your Constitution CB plus 2. All right, and so you were successful, Azul?
Yeah, I just needed the one luck, so
Okay,
I'm
you're
good.
good. And then, yeah, Rakas, likewise too. You got grazed by it, but didn't quite break skin, or at least you weren't affected by the poison. Next
much-
up is Azul.
Did damage go off your red or
Red bar. Red bar is your hit points. Blue bar is your
So-
psionic strength points.
Now my wisdom is pretty good. Int is low. Is Azul aware that these are not kids?
I don't know. I mean, you're being stabbed by them in
I'm
any
being
event.
stabbed by them, so I'm
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like,
shit.
do I have? I'm not a gladiator. Do I have the option of non-lethal?
Yeah. Actually, you can't do lethal damage with your hits unless you're a gladiator. You're unarmed, I should say.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just use my unarmed strikes for
Okay, go right ahead.
this. Yeah.
So go ahead and make an attack roll. AC is 15.
And this I can use the character sheet for, yeah?
You can, yes. It's really kind of the only thing you can use it for, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Nat 1! Hot damn.
Here we go.
Fumble City. All right, hold on. All right.
Great.
Come on.
break small?
All
Wait,
right.
don't worry, he's not gonna have a book for this. So, I'm sure.
You might as well have a drink. All right, so the critical fumble. Andrew, would you give us I think it is, I can't remember if it's a percentile or a d20 roll. Hold on. Whatever it is, it's going to be fun.
For you.
Yeah. I do remember that one of the critical results is hit ally.
Mm-hmm.
That'll go badly for whoever I hit. I'm pretty big.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so what frickin' page is it? Oh, here, on. All right, it is. I didn't get the, God dang it, I didn't get my house rules printed. And I know I have a specific page reference for where the criticals are. Here we go, got them. D20, please, Andrew. Ooh. Wild swing. Wielder trips and falls. Breaking weapon punctures self. 1d. So I think what happens is you try to go down at one of these kids, and maybe the stab comes in at the right time, so you're just thrown off balance. You stagger forward onto this really very lovely and ornate obelisk that someone is working on, and falling onto it. Give us a 1d12 roll.
Oh, jeez.
Ouch.
Great.
Oh, there you go. Now your ones are working here. And fortunately, you throw your weight aside a little bit, so you were just grazed by it. You take 1 point of damage, and you are prone.
Too bad I couldn't have landed on top of these two schmucks.
I think I have to wait till next round.
You do, yeah, because you failed your wisdom. Okay. Gallic, what would you like to do?
I also failed my.
Oh, did you fail your wisdom? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is that it for? Oh my God.
I think
then.
that's the round.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of round 1, folks. We are on to round 2. It appears that they may not be acting alone. Everybody gets to roll initiative this time. Is anyone doing anything that is outside of initiative? Any spells? Any sonic powers?
Oh, we roll each.
Yeah.
Spell.
Spell? Okay, none of these are spellcasters, so they are not going to be able to do anything about that. Okay, so go ahead and roll, folks. Enter in your score. I got an 8 for the halflings.
We reroll? Okay.
Yeah, reroll every round.
That's cool.
Does that count for ranger skills as well, or does that go into my turn?
No, as long as it's something that... the only reason you need to declare spells is because what do you call it? They may be able to counter or change what they've decided to do. If you are doing any of those AC modifiers thing, it's one of the things I really like about it is, in particular, for charge. What game have you ever seen a counter charge ever go off? Right? Like, I'm going to set my spear versus charge. Well, I'm not going to charge now. So this one, because you have to declare charge, you could decide that that's what you're going to do is set something against charge. Because charge is one of those things that modifies AC. Anyway, that's a long answer about something you didn't ask about. So I'll never miss an opportunity to talk about cool rules stuff I like, though. So, all right. Do we have everyone in there now?
Can Sakia declare that she would like to parry?
Yes. You do nothing this round? Okay. Yep. Absolutely. Well, are you maintaining the hold on this halfling? Or now that you've got the book, you're not concerned?
I'm not concerned about holding him any longer.
Okay. All right. So we got everybody in there. Looks like descending. Carl, you're kicking ass at initiative today. Crick, you're up first. What are you doing?
He's gonna. So it looks like. I can't pronounce SYCIA, but anyway, that my companion is going.
Oh, Sakia.
Sakia, since she's tripled up, he's gonna run. Well, I don't know, how does it work? Is there you have to only get one attack this round and then full attack?
No, you can always you can move and make your full attacks. There's no iterated attacks in this like there is in AD&D or otherwise. You just go and attack.
Yeah, he's gonna move up to one of these and just go nuts on him.
Easy. So you leap over.
All right, so it says I get it's pretty kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I get 4 claws and a bite.
Yep.
All right. So which one do I roll? There's 2 buttons. I guess
the first one I believe is the attack. Second one is damage.
So 1. Okay. So the first one, I'll just go one at a time, right? So
first one. That one's a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right.
Ooh, nice.
Second one.
Okay. 2 hits. Go ahead. They're small, but hope. So that first one, gone.
All right.
2 quick claws. Tear this thing apart.
Claws and a bite. Can I switch to the new target, or that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Next one is
a miss. You could spend 3. A nat 20.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I won't spend.
Give us a D20 roll, Carl.
Okay, another 20.
This is just a flat 18. Crushing blow to the skull. Opponent knocked unconscious. 1d12 extra damage.
Awesome.
So go ahead and roll your claw attack. 6 and then 1d12. Oh, I think you knocked its head off. So, this seeming child goes back, and this Thri-kreen leaps in, tears one down with two of its hands, knocks the head off the other one. You still have another claw and another bite, don't you?
No, I have one more bite.
One more bite, okay.
So this last guy.
Oh, and you miss. All right.
How much? Yeah, I don't have enough luck, I think.
By 5.
Yeah, I don't have enough luck.
You can spend a hero point reroll if you like.
I will spend a hero point reroll. I haven't spent a hero
point. Go right
ahead. Kevin, just to note.
That's a hit.
I rolled a 9 for initiative. I forgot to actually enter it into the turn order.
Right, so 4 points of damage on that guy.
Oh, no.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, that's just a damage.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. All right, Zool, surprisingly quick. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna stand back up.
Okay, now I think standing is only half movement in this.
Okay.
You can take a half movement and attack, but you're super close to these things anyway.
Yeah, they're like right there. Yeah. So I'm just gonna lay into them. Or try to. Again, this didn't go too well last time.
Okay. Are you punching this time, or are you deploying your maul?
I accidentally used the maul last time. I'm just using my... You know what? No. Maul. I'm pissed now. I'm angry. In fact, I think my alignment might change to chaotic. Because I'm angry.
Okay. Holy smokes. That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
I'm very, very angry.
Wow.
So this massive obsidian-headed maul sweeps up through the air and smashes down, crushing him like an empty container.
Now I kind of feel bad.
Yeah. Thania.
Okay. So I'm going to cast a spell, and so I can't remember. Do I have to make a roll to conceal the casting of the spell?
After the fact, yeah.
Dexterity. Okay. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to use my last hero point for that.
Okay. So you're definitely concealed.
I do not want anybody to spot that. So I'm casting. So just for fun, I want to grab. I feel like there might be some sand on the ground here.
Yep.
So I would grab some sand and go like this, and I cast a sleep spell.
Ooh. All right. Now,
no saving throw.
So, of the folks in our party, who is second level?
Like exactly second, or at
no,
least
it's
second?
Sakia. You hit third, didn't you? After last session, remember?
Well, yeah.
I think it's everybody except for Sakia, right?
Actually, it's anyone who is multi-class is second level.
Yeah.
So it's Ela, Thania, Krakik. So I think give us a 2d4 roll first, because these are actually third level rogues. 4 hit dice worth of. Krakik is closest.
Krakik is immune to sleep.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, it's sleepless. It says sleepless.
No. That does not make it means you don't sleep. You're still.
Okay.
Yep. So Krakik is closest to them. He is the first one who goes down. And then why doesn't Thania and Ela each give us a D10 roll? Whoever rolls highest, you're the one targeted here.
8. Yes, okay, I gotta target myself.
Gestures out, and Krakik.
I think I was so focused on making sure I didn't get spotted doing this that I was just way off and actually casting the spell. So,
oh my god, they've done something to Thania and to Krakik.
So I fall to the ground.
Okay, Galek, what are you doing?
I will. Oh dear! I will fend off the one that is going for me. I think with my wolf spear.
Okay.
I think just let's see how I do.
Okay. Nice, solid hit. And go ahead and roll. Oh! Look at this.
Keep off.
Yeah, like almost solidly through him. And he staggers back. You nearly pinned him to the ground, literally, with that. Sakia, you've kept yourself at a distance. Then These. All right. So, Azul. Let's see here. You are going to have one on you. Full AC. That is. I don't think that comes close to hitting. A 10 is not a hit, right?
It's close. I have an 11.
Okay. Then it is. Hold on. Did you? What are you showing for your armor?
Like what I actually have for armor?
Yeah, listed on the character sheet.
Gotta switch character
for
sheet
the
itself.
thing. Because remember, you.
Actually, it doesn't list anything under the
you
armor.
could remember your gear included Brigandine armor gives you +4 AC, so you should actually have a 15. Okay, which is fine. I mean, a miss is a miss still. Gaelic does a nope. That's a nat 1. Rakas, hey, does a 16 hit you?
16 is my AC.
2 points of damage, and would you kindly give us a Constitution save? With Krakik being asleep, I think this thing's advancing on you against Sakia, just like scrambling and lashing back and forth with that thing. Ooh, I got a 24 total.
That would do it. Even with her parrying, she's 18, so.
Oh, okay, so that is 4 points of damage. They're so much smaller, and like they almost fight like a monkey, kind of scrambling on all fours at times, and then racing forward. Monkey with a knife, I guess.
Yeah, she would fall after that strike. She would fall.
Oh shit!
I rolled a 10 on my con save.
What you can? Who rolled a 10 on the con save? Oh, Rakas.
Yeah.
So it's a difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2, and he's got a CB8, so
10. So you're good. Yeah, you're good. Okay. But you guys can see that one of these things has nicked Sakia. Now, you have a couple options here. You guys could, in theory, spend luck to affect my roll. I rolled a 24. So what would you need to... Is it a 17? Is it I need to miss?
Yes.
So if you guys want to
luck.
pony up 7 luck, we would miss Sakia narrowly and not take her down. I don't know who has that much luck. I think Rakas is the only one.
Sakia is Rakas's friend, and Rakas has 8 luck points left, so he'll be down to 1.
Okay, so maybe like Sakia is. You think you've got an effective defense in with your parry. Rakas out of the corner of his eye. He's used to fighting, a variety of different opponents in the arena. Sees you coming in and just shoves you out of the way at the very last second. So this little dagger narrowly misses you instead of hitting you. So give yourself back the damage you took.
All right, like being back in the pits, Rakas.
Hell yeah. Only did you fix this fight?
Wish.
All right, then we got 3 new opponents who are each using slings. And we'll see here. Ayla, what is your AC? Never mind, I only rolled a 7. I'm guessing it's not that.
No, 15.
Azul, you're a big target. 17, does that hit you?
Thanks for the reminder. I have an AC of 15.
Okay, nice. You take 3 points of damage from this vicious little stone, and then I think Rakas, you're the biggest, scariest one here right now, other than Azul. 14 misses you, right? All right. You can hear them chattering to each other. Does anyone speak Halfling? So you can't understand this weird... Their language sounds almost like you could mistake it for the sort of ambient sounds of a jungle. Ela, you're up next. What are you doing?
I have a question about the poison. Is it a continual acting every turn poison, or is it just one hit and
just
that's
one
about
hit?
it
Yeah.
for the poison? Okay, so I don't need to use my ranger stuff for that.
Yeah.
I am going to now. Wizard magic is illegal. Is clerical magic illegal here?
No, not at all. Clerical magic is completely accepted.
Okay, then I'm going to use elemental aura, and for the full round, I will chant my little chant, and I will keep maintaining that for the round and continuously, so they get -1 to their attack rolls.
Nice. So what does this protective aura look like?
It definitely looks a little bit. The sand comes up around me and it just encircles, and it's just a bit of the earth around me, or I guess it's soil, not earth. The dirt comes around me and it just makes this protective or makes this elemental aura from the dirt.
Nice. So that gives -1 to hit to everyone within like 30 feet, right?
It says suffer -1 to their attack rolls for 30 feet.
Yeah, nice. So you guys are all within the aura of Ela.
They have to make a saving throw, so all enemies within 30 feet.
Oh, okay, and you're level 2, so that'll be a DC 2. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other ones are further away, so only 4 I need to make. Let's see. A 3, a 9, an 11, and 11, so no.
Perfect.
Then, Rakas, what are you doing?
I think Rakas he's like, you want to play with blades then? And bone wrist razor comes out.
Yep.
And goes a stabby with the bone wrist razor.
Go right ahead. Yeah, that's a hit. Go ahead and roll damage. This is gonna be scary. Oh, so you pick up this halfling like on it, and then just toss the body down. Like a discarded...
Because I killed my foe, Cleaving Strike will allow me to strike another one.
Yep, there's another one that's lurking over Krakik, it looks like. Or the one that's attacking Sakia. Oh, are you missing any bonuses in that? Or do you have luck? You're off by 1.
I have 1 luck left.
There you go. That's a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
I'm all out of luck.
10 points of damage. Oh, so yeah, you throw the thing down, and then seeing this one trying to like flank Sakia again, you take 1 step forward, and bury it down into the ground, pinned with the claws. Then, and unsurprisingly, the crowd around here is just going fucking nuts because like they're killing children. They're killing children.
And Rakas is turning to the crowd like, I am the champion.
I did this. All right, then it is end of the round, guys. Round 3. So we have Krakik is asleep and Thania is asleep. Everyone else, is there anyone doing anything that needs to be accounted for in the initiative?
Waking an ally? Is that an action?
Just you spend your round shaking them and they'll wake up.
Okay. I might be too frenzied for that, but
I could try to do that.
Are our positions kind of like representative where we are relative to one another? Like, am I right beside Gaelic?
I'm trying to think here. Probably. You guys were all sort of talking in a cluster when all this kicked off. You fell away onto that, obelisk.
Am I close to Sakia?
What are you trying to do? Maybe an easier.
I'm just thinking, like, I try to use a heal spell, but like I have to deal with this.
You could definitely reach her with half of your movement.
Okay, and I would take that's fine. Okay,
so you're casting a spell?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything fun with the initiative order? No? Okay. Then I have one more thing to add to the initiative track.
Is there one more within, or are these other two relatively close?
One is engaged with Gaelic, one is with Azul. They're relatively close. The other 3 are about maybe 25 or 30 feet back on the roofs, kind of zigging these stones down at you guys.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to move Kick up here out of the way because I need the space. Guys, half-giant guards take up an awful lot of room, so...
And that's fun.
Not as much fun as...
I'm being sarcastic.
Templars. Okay. So...
Give them back the folio.
Now, the half-giants have... Where am I doing here? What am I doing here? go.
I'm glad I'm asleep.
You didn't witness this?
Yeah.
Who's got the text now?
There we go.
Not me.
We all curl up and
yeah.
Or did I lose it?
when these halflings attack us.
Okay, we got 2 halflings. I'll put the Templar there. There we go. Okay, I believe that's right. You guys can see the bar, but not the numbers, right?
Right.
Awesome. Okay. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Let me put these down here, too. What's happened to him? There we go. And... all right. They are acting on a 2. All right, so then if no one else is, you guys, you folks can go ahead and roll your initiative, please. And add it on in. Nice.
Just trying to find the...
you just roll a d10. There's a button on there, I think, underneath the armor.
It works, yeah, it works.
Okay.
Cure light
Oh, and it worked too.
wounds.
Nice.
Yep.
The CT is what I'm looking for in my spell, right? To add to affect the...
No, you don't add anything to your roll. You just roll. Casting time just tells you how. It's not like in AD&D.
Okay, sorry.
Your
I was
initiative tells
confused
you
'cause
when you're
magic
acting.
affects initiative, but I guess...
The only way it affects initiative is because others can try and spot what you're trying to do and then change what
okay.
their actions are.
Right, okay.
Okay. Everyone's got their initiative in? Boom.
Yeah, I put in a 0.
You're 0?
Yeah, 0.
Yeah.
Then, Gaelic, you're up first.
I will try and dispatch the halfling in front of me.
Please do. Oh,
I will
no!
fail.
Do you have a hero point?
Yeah, it's getting late. I'm going to spend the hero point and 20 it.
Okay. Oh, well, hero point, you have to re-roll. You can't... you can spend a hero point before you roll to get the nat 20.
Oh, okay.
So this would be a re-roll, but it would avoid a fumble, though.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what would be the chances of another? Look at that.
I mean...
That is a solid hit. Go ahead and roll damage. I think your damage bonus is enough to kill this one. So yeah, what does it look like as you take this one down?
Nice.
It's a bit. I basically pin the halfling to the floor with the spear and then butt him in the face.
All right. Then it is Ela. So.
Sorry, I was still muted. So since I'm maintaining my elemental aura, I can't cast any spells, but I can fight.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to use my longbow here and see if that works.
Your which?
My longbow.
Oh, absolutely. Who are you shooting?
I am over. Sorry, my screen's really small. I'm going to shoot at the big fella right there that's moving.
Oh,
yeah,
because you can see at the end of the block there is a Templar and a squad of half giants, all wearing the colors of Tyr, purple and red. This is like they are the police in here too. So that would be a hit on one of them. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
Find a place I can put this. There we go. Okay. It hits. And they stagger. They tower about 12 feet tall, and they seem angry.
I will stand at the back.
Yeah. You're all fighting for the back. No. All right, Azul, what are you doing?
You mean aside from a little bit of half giant envy, because like these guys are they look bigger than me. I'm gonna take I'm assuming there'll be an attack of opportunity. That's fine.
So about that, how did that work in this game? If you don't withdraw, there is a free strike in it, but that's it. Like you can move around the target. It's not like 5e where you like any way you move, you get an attack of opportunity.
Because I'd like to try to get to Sakea and try to help address this diminishing health
I see what
situation.
you mean. Yes. So what you can do is, so long as a fighting disengagement is combatant carefully withdrawing from combat, You can move 1/2 your movement. You suffer no armor class, but you cannot take any other action. So yeah, you would have to take a attack of opportunity and -2 to your AC
in order to move and heal her, or
Yeah.
I have to do this withdrawal, move over there, and then wait and hope that next turn I can do it.
Correct.
She's
What do you
pretty
think?
low, and she's got a half giant right in front of her face.
They're
so...
not. This is in relation. These have like just come into the street. They haven't acted
okay,
yet.
so there's some time.
Yes.
So then I'll do that. I'll withdraw
Okay.
from this little creature
Okay.
and make my way over here then.
So you're waiting. Nothing. You're not casting spells this round.
You're saying if I withdraw, I can't cast the spell.
Correct. So you
Right,
either take
so
the attack of
then-
opportunity, or and cast the spell, or you have to wait till next round. Anna says, take the attack of opportunity.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take the attack of opportunity so I can
Okay.
deal with this right away.
19. So
You're listening to a dog.
You know, Anna's never steered me wrong before.
Has dog tricked you into getting hit?
Kevin baited you that one there.
Oh no.
Fair.
for
It's
sure,
fair.
the line of the session. You're
I'm
listening to a dog.
She's on Kevin's side. She lives with Kevin.
4 points of damage.
Sorry,
and go ahead.
how many? How many?
4 points.
4 points.
4
okay.
points, and I need a Constitution save against that poison.
You watch.
I'm doing it. I'm checking for spell interruption as well.
Now
It's
it's
like
gonna be.
TPK,
Yeah.
TPK.
You also lose that spell. Yes, you were-
Yeah, of course I do. Great. Yep.
I think. Okay. Sorry,
I tried,
Andrew.
Takea. I tried.
Now. What you could do though is you could spend 2 hero points to avoid getting hit, to negate a hit. That would allow you to move over
Yep.
and to cast a spell.
Wait, to negate the hit. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So just to basically like MacGuffin this,
Yep.
You missed
or
me.
Mulligan this.
Mulligan it, yeah. MacGuffin,
sure.
it hits the Maltese Falcon.
That was the reference I was going to go for.
Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. I'll do that instead
Okay.
then.
So what do
2
you?
hero points.
Yeah, it you know that big skull emblem in your belt buckle there?
Yeah.
It stabs in at you, and it's about to hit you, and just kind of like ricochets off of that, and somehow misses. Now you're able to cast Cure Light Wounds.
Okay. So it is 1d8.
Don't
So
roll.
let's see.
One.
Come on. It's so help me, Kevin.
on.
Don't jinx it.
There you go.
That's good.
Oh,
6 points back. So what? And it's
Oh,
a
man.
sunlight, right? It's a flash of sunlight.
Yes, yeah, I am a sun cleric, so for
Beautiful.
sure.
All right, Rakas, what are you doing?
Just so I understand, the guys that are the giants and the priestess.
They have
or
just,
whatever?
you can see them about a quarter of the way down a block. They just come around onto the street, and they're definitely coming in your direction on their turn.
That's like town guard kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay, so then halfling, you took a swing at who took a swing at Azul?
Yep.
I'm gonna stab him.
Go ahead.
Ba-tam.
That is missed by 4.
I have some hero points I'm sitting on.
Okay, go ahead and re-roll.
Reroll.
No. All right. Then it is Sakia.
Sakia is feeling pretty desperate in this situation. She is going to cast Sleep towards the half giants, and she's going to use her hero point to hide the casting.
Okay.
That's her last hero point.
Nice. Okay, so you stagger back. Power comes up from the ground, and give us a 2d4 roll, please.
Right. Oof.
Oh no!
Your power is as nothing to them. This is trying to hold back an angry Kank with a thread. Now it is the halflings' turn. The halflings have seen what is going on. Rukas, they are running. Go ahead and make an attack of opportunity on the one that is engaged with you. Do you want to hero point that? Or do you care if they get away at this point?
So he
Hero
hit,
point the
Well,
damage.
24.
Oh, 24 was hit. Sorry, I only saw the 9. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the 9 is
that
the
is a hit.
damage.
And they have -2 to their AC, actually, so that is a solid hit. Oh, you rake along its back as it scrambles away. They're halflings, so they're only going to get about 20 feet away from you. So they run to sort of like, you can picture they've run down the street and they're trying to lose themselves in the crowd.
Stop, thief!
Then it is they're not dressed like gladiators like you see here. They are wearing. Where's it? Here we
Pretty
go.
cool if they did.
It would be cool. They have heads. Deploy the heads. Then they have a massive steel swords. Like the amount of riches that are being displayed here is crazy. Half giants have to have like oversized things, so they come racing up, and this they'll have to spend their whole movement trying to get into range with you guys. The Templar runs up, and the staff at the end, or the thing on the end of the staff flashes. And she says in a commanding voice, "Lay down your arms! You are all under arrest." She doesn't do anything else. But the power of the Sorcerer King that seems to be imbued in her body is threat enough. Guys, that brings us to the end of our session. We're 8 minutes off.
Nice.
So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of Freedom, our gaming marathon. Let me move us back to the main screen here.
Yeah, we got a spammer.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Remove. Report.
Okay, it was me. Okay, I was sleeping. My character was asleep. Had nothing.
Perfect. For those listening at home, apart from our spammer, thank you so much for joining us. Although first thing I should say is there are big congratulations in order. As I said, each of you are gaining 2,500 XP for each session you play in, which means Azul and Rakas, ding-a-ling, congratulations on hitting your new level. Rakas, would you give us a 2d 12 roll, please, for your new hit points? And Azul, would you give us a 2d8 roll twice, because you get double hit dice. Okay, so Azul, 7 is your best out of the first one, 6 of Azul, you get 13 more hit dice plus your Constitution modifier. You only get to add the con once. And Rakas looks like 10 extra hit points plus your con modifier. Go ahead and add that to your maximum hit points. And then I'll adjust your base attack bonus and whatever else. Azul, you're also level 3 now or 4?
I'm level 4.
4 now. Okay, so you're not getting access to new spell levels yet.
Oh, there we go.
But congratulations. For those... Oh, Rakas, you get access to Whirlwind Attack now.
Yeah. Just in time.
Yeah, exactly. For those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of our the Musers Marathon for 2022. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, I should say campaign, the weekend of games, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active. You have channels there dedicated to AD&D, to every other version of D&D, every game we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other stuff. On there, there's a ton of great topics, ton of great conversations, and a ton of great people. You are more than welcome to join us over there. In addition, there is a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International charity, a really terrific organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding countries. All donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help the kids who benefit from the SOS Children's Villages International activities. And as a very small way of saying thank you, for every $25 Canadian that you donate between August 1st or now and Sunday night, you'll get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other terrific prizes in our next charity raffle. The prizes we have on offer include 3 prizes from our friends at Beetle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse, a platinum edition of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight adventure for 5th edition D&D, a gold edition box set for Absalon City of Lost Omens, one of the very best Sydney box set that I've ever owned. I've got a copy of that myself because I liked it so much, and a copy of the silver edition of Fizban's Guide to Dragons. If you don't win any of those great prizes, there's still a bunch of other stuff, including a chainmail dice bag made by our resident armor smith here, Dave. There is a... Very nice, very nice. Dave has also generously donated a trilogy of the AD&D 2nd Edition core book, so PHB, Monstrous Compendium, Monstrous Manual, and the DMG for 2nd Edition AD&D. There's also, Jeffrey has donated a full set of the most recent 5th edition Iron Kingdoms books. There's a copy of the Jackals Bronze Age RPG from our buddy J.M. DeFogie. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm forgetting. There's also some prizes from our Dungeon Musings Red Bubble Shop, including some t-shirts, some posters, and some water containers of various kinds, mugs, and water bottles. So lots of great prizes. And again, every $25 Canadian that you donate gives you one chance to win one of those great prizes. The draw for that will be happening on Sunday night after our marathon is over. So expect a very hoarse and a very tired Dungeon Muser, but we'll be doing the draw live, and then we'll be sharing all the information on the Dungeon Musing Discord server's Charity Initiatives channel, as well as on the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. And again, right up until the time of the draw, we'll still be accepting donations. So if you have not donated so far and you do want to donate and make and potentially win some of those great prizes, please do not hesitate to donate. Remember, all money goes directly to SOS Children's Villages International. Speaking of great people, I want to say a huge thank you to all of our Stalwart players tonight. The new faces, the old faces, thank you so much to all of you for helping us kick off this Dungeon Musers Marathon. So George, Leslie, Carl, Andrew, Graham, Dave, and Jamie, thank you so much for playing tonight, guys. I had a shit ton of fun with this. I got to have you beat up seeming children. We got to use an angry, small business owner. Really, it's the stuff that legends are made from, right? So, thank you so much to everybody. We'll be back tomorrow morning with part 2 of our campaign, or this at least the Freedom Adventure. Until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in the sands of Athos and the streets of Tyr have found themselves embroiled in. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.
Yeah.